Chapter 4992. Clang. The moonlight chains kept breaking, and Taoist Duo Bao, who was lying on the altar, was gradually able to move. He kept staring at Lin Ling, his eyes full of excitement and the desire to live. He clearly knew that if the world will's power was seized, he would definitely die, and he wouldn't be able to reincarnate. However, Lin Ling had suddenly appeared. He was extremely surprised. Why would Lin Ling appear here? It must be known that Lin Ling had defeated young Master Ming's subordinates on the first floor, allowing everyone to enter the second floor. Taoist Duo Bao didn't want to implicate Lin Ling, so he had entered the second floor and finally reached the third floor. He had never thought that he would be able to see Lin Ling so quickly. Taoist Duo Bao. Lin Ling shouted in a low voice. Whoosh! Taoist Duo Bao broke free and floated up. So powerful. You actually managed to hide from my eyes. Tell me your name. I don't kill nameless people. At that moment, the silver-robed youth finally spoke. He had a cold smile at the corners of his mouth, as if he wasn't worried at all. Swish. 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 The experts in the surroundings also flew over. Taoist Duo Bao, leave the city immediately. Lin Ling sensed that after Taoist Duo Bao broke free, his strength was quickly recovering. When Taoist Duo Bao heard this, he immediately nodded. I'm the opposite of you. I like to kill nameless people. After Lin Ling said this, he suddenly pounced at the youth, his powerful soul power bursting out. Universe 3 Extreme Destruction. Fu. Jie. Return. Universe Seal All Souls. The youth's expression changed drastically. Who is this person? He's actually so powerful. He clearly sensed that his life was in danger, and he didn't dare to move. Get lost. He shouted at the gods that were pouncing at him. The gods all stopped, their expressions changing drastically. They didn't dare to act rashly. Who are you? You are so powerful. You managed to barge in without anyone noticing. The youth looked at Lin Ling and smiled. He still didn't seem to be flustered. I didn't barge in without anyone noticing. I just subdued you without anyone noticing. Lin Ling stood in front of the youth and spoke with a smile. At the same time, he gave Taoist Duo Bao a look and asked him to open a path. Taoist Duo Bao understood and strode forward. Let him go. The surrounding gods began to stir, but the youth immediately shouted coldly. You have guts. Who are you? Lin Ling asked calmly as he held the young man hostage. In Tianwen. The youth held his hands behind his back, leading the way in front of Lin Ling. It had to be said that he truly had the spirit of a great figure. From the moment the altar ceremony was destroyed to the moment he was captured, besides the initial surprise, he was able to maintain his calm. These Silvermoon people are indeed extraordinary. I reckon that they managed to escape the calamity of the world will back then. Lin Ling's eyes flashed. The calmer the youth was, the more difficult it was to deal with him. Do you want to leave the city? The young man continued forward, but he smiled and said, people like you won't be able to leave the city, because with me here, there will be even more people following you. You are very smart. Lin Ling replied coldly. You flatter me. Now, are you going to let me go, take a gamble, and rush out of Oceanic Holy City as fast as you can, or are you going to take me out of the city? The youth shrugged and replied. Lin Ling ignored him. He looked around and saw that the surrounding gods were indifferent, as if they were about to attack at any time. However, they did not dare to do so and could only follow from afar. Lin Ling, we can't go on like this. These people will keep following us, and we can't chase them away. If this matter gets out of hand, there will be even more people following us. Taoist Duo Bao also secretly transmitted his voice to Su Quebec. Lin Ling knew that it was impossible to chase the surrounding gods away. Even if they could leave, they would hide in the distance and follow them. Therefore, he had to let Yin Tianwen go. Okay, you can go now. After leaving the mansion, Lin Ling suddenly asked Yin Tianwen. Oh. Yin Tianwen put his hands behind his back and looked at Lin Ling calmly. Goodbye. Lin Ling and Daoist Duobao looked at each other, then ran down the street and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Young master. It was at this moment that the gods from behind finally charged over. Moreover, there were an extremely large number of them, numbering in the hundreds. Previously, if Lin Ling had a conflict with them, even if he won, he would not have had a good ending. He would have been trapped in the city. How dare they kidnap young master? Catch them. After seeing that the youth was fine, an old man immediately said angrily. No. However, the youth immediately interrupted him. Young master, what's wrong? Everyone looked at the youth. The youth shook his head and said with a cold smile, I am still surrounded by the great universe. If you move, it will immediately attack me. What? Everyone was shocked. Then, they activated their means and kept investigating. Young master, this is the soul universe. It is extremely powerful. However, the soul universe is also dissipating. It just needs some time. Young master, what do you think now? The surrounding gods kept talking. The youth smiled faintly and said calmly, let's wait. Young master, why don't we inform the city gate and not let them out of the city? Once the soul universe disappears, they will be dead. No, if they sense that someone is chasing them, they will activate the soul universe. Although they can't kill young master, they will definitely hurt the youth. It seems that we can only wait. The surrounding gods sat cross-legged and activated their soul power to resist Lin Ling's universe 3 extremes break. The youth had his hands behind his back as if he was looking down at the sky. What an interesting thief. You actually managed to save someone from my hands. Moreover, you stole so many of my treasures. I, Yin Wentian, have cultivated for 300 million years, and this is the first time I have suffered such a great loss. However, you won't be able to do anything. If I, Yin Wentian, want to catch you, it will be as easy as flipping my hand. I will give you time to escape. Let's see where you can run to. Yin Wentian was extremely calm. At this moment, Lin Ling and the rest were rushing toward the city gate. Lin Ling, speed up. Daoist myriad treasures shouted at Lin Ling, don't go too fast, or you will attract the attention of others. Lin Ling stopped Daoist myriad treasures. But Daoist myriad treasures was afraid that Yin Wentian and the rest would chase after them. He knew how terrifying the Silver Moon clan was. Don't worry. He won't chase after us before my technique disappears. Lin Ling said confidently, that Yin Wentian is very confident, but it's because he's too confident that he gave us time to escape. If we speed up now and get stopped by others, we'll waste even more time. You are right. Both of them restrained their speed. Before long, the magnificent city gate appeared in front of them. At the same time, Lin Ling's expression changed. Not good. My universe 3 extremes break has been broken. Daoist myriad treasures, rush out of the city gate. Okay. Daoist myriad treasures' strength erupted as he opened a path in front of them. Who is it? At the gate, a large number of gods shouted angrily. However, Daoist myriad treasures didn't say anything. Instead, the worlds will erupted and turned into a gourd. It formed a powerful suction force that sucked a large number of gods into it. Chapter 49-93. 2 of them are leaving the city, stop them. Stop them. At the same time, Yin Wentian's order arrived, causing the gods' expressions to change drastically. They smiled bitterly to themselves. This order came too late. Yes. If they had received the order earlier, they would have tried their best to stop them. But now that they had received the order, they were obviously caught off guard. Young master, they are already leaving the city. Not good. Help. Almost as soon as they received the order, Lin Ling's powerful attack arrived. The huge gourd controlled by the Taoist of many treasures swallowed everything, and no one could stop it. After Lin Ling's innate talent fusion, the tyrannical Song sword turned into a massacre of 10,000 worlds, affecting the strength of the gods. Then, he was killed by Lin Ling's sword. With Lin Ling's current strength, even with the innate talent fusion, ordinary giant gods were no match for him. Charge! Charge! The two did not stop, rushing out of the city gate and flying into the distance. When they passed by the sea was hit by the two's powerful speed. The Holy Ocean City had a large number of city gates, and after seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Courting death. Catch them. The gods at the city gates were stunned, and then they flew into a rage and chased after Lin Ling's group. Rumble. In the rolling sea, a huge two-headed turtle crawled out, sprinkling endless stars. After swimming out of the sea, it was extremely fast and chased after Lin Ling's group. A large number of gods stood on top of the gigantic turtle. They were all clad in silver armor and looked very majestic. They were from the Silver Moon clan. Wherever the weapons in their hands pointed, endless silver light sprinkled down like moonlight. The terrifying explosion of divine power caused the entire sea near the Holy Ocean City to overturn. The gods who passed by were directly shaken to death by the sea water. Those two are crazy, daring to act recklessly in the Holy Ocean City. Now that there are 99 cities of myriad gods, except for the attacks between cities, who dares to provoke the cities of myriad gods? I remember that 800 years ago, someone attacked Arrowhead City. It was the city of myriad gods, which was weaker than the holy city of the ocean. In the end, all 32 clans were annihilated. 32 clans. Hundreds of thousands of gods were killed, not to mention that there were only 2 of them. Looks like they're dead for sure. Many gods narrowed their eyes and mocked Lin Ling and the others for overestimating themselves. Of course, they also guessed that Lin Ling and the rest were wrongly accused, but in a place like the city of myriad gods, if you entered the city, being slaughtered was inevitable. They could only swallow their anger. If they resisted, they would die even faster. Escaped. At the same time, a large number of figures appeared at the city gate that Lin Ling had escaped from, with Yin Wentian as their leader. Interesting. The 2 of you are the first to escape from Ocean Sacred City. However, how can I let you go after taking so many of my treasures? There's also Taoist Master of many treasures. Hee, you won't be able to escape. Yin Wentian laughed lightly and waved his hand. Bring out the Silver Moon battleship. Rumble. The holy city of the ocean shook, and a huge silver-armored battleship rose from one corner. Yin Wentian took a step forward and floated toward the battleship. Chase. Standing on the battleship, Yin Wentian waved his hand calmly. Rumble. As soon as the Silver Moon battleship appeared, the heavens and earth shook, and the earth cracked. Some of the weaker gods were directly smashed to the ground by the powerful aura. Chase. Behind the Silver Moon battleship, a large number of small boats and demonic beast mounts appeared and chased after Lin Ling and the Silver Moon battleship. The Silver Moon clan was an extremely famous ancient clan in the universe. How could their dignity be challenged? No matter what, Lin Ling and the Silver Moon battleship must be captured. This was the bottom line. Of course, no one doubted the strength of the Silver Moon clan. Everyone thought that Lin Ling and the Silver Moon battleship were dead meat. At this moment, Lin Ling and the Silver Moon battleship exploded with full speed and flew along the ground into the distance. Lin Ling, they've caught up. At the same time, Taoist Duobao shouted with an ugly expression. The Silver Moon clan is really extravagant. Lin Ling looked back and couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. The heavens and earth shook as a large number of mounts and battleships chased after them. It was as if they had pierced through the sky. No wonder Yin Wentian is so confident. Lin Ling sighed inwardly. Yin Wentian was treating them like a cat catching a mouse. Lin Ling, what should we do? Daoist Duobao looked anxious. Then, he sighed and said, alas, I've implicated you. If you hadn't saved me, you wouldn't have been dragged into this mess. What are you talking about? We're all from the Jojo Void. How can I watch something happen to you? Moreover, you and I are both hosts of the world will. I won't just stand by and watch. Lin Ling couldn't help but curse. Moreover, that guy has taken a fancy to my boots. I won't easily hand them over. Okay, I won't say any more. But now, how are we going to get rid of them? Daoist Duobao felt warmth in his heart. Lin Ling's eyes kept flashing. His strength had increased greatly, but he was confident that he wouldn't be able to win against so many powerful beings. The only way was to get rid of them. At the very least, he had to think of a way to slow them down. Let's go to another city. Lin Ling said after pondering for a while. I know there's a ghost city over there. It's a ghost city. Some gods who cultivate the ghost path and the underworld path like to go there. Daoist Duobao's eyes lit up. Let's go immediately. Lin Ling asked Daoist Duobao to change direction and head toward the ghost city. Young master, they've changed direction. At that moment, someone under the huge silver moon battleship said to Yin Wentian. This person's strength was heaven-defying. He was a Saint Universe god. However, he still had to bow respectfully to Yin Wentian, who was weaker than him. This was because he knew that Yin Wentian was very important to the Silver Moon clan. He was deeply doted on by the Silver Moon god clan. It's okay. They're just flustered. Let them escape. I enjoy the process. Yin Wentian asked someone to bring a chair over. He sat on the chair and drank wine as he spoke casually. They're just two small gods. How dare they violate the rules of the Great Ocean Saint City? They deserve to die. Let's make their reincarnation cycle collapse and make it difficult for them to be reincarnated. The person beside him said coldly. Take your time. It won't be fun if you kill the mouse in one go. Yin Wentian waved his hand. At that moment, Lin Ling and the others were still flying forward. A huge city began to appear in front of them. This city was next to a majestic black mountain. Chilly winds blew on the mountain, making it look like a corpse lying on the ground. Looking at the ghost city, there were lanterns everywhere, and burning paper money was everywhere. It was extremely eerie. Moreover, there was no one to be seen. However, Lin Ling discovered that there were people in this city. No, it should be said that there were many ghosts in this city. They were all gods who cultivated the underworld path's divine abilities. Chapter 4994. We want to enter the city. Lin Ling said immediately. This is our entrance fee. Daoist Master of Many Treasures took out a large number of treasures and threw them on the ground. These treasures were priceless, and they were all that Daoist Master of Many Treasures had accumulated. However, at this time, he could not care less about his heartache. Sure enough, the old women's eyes lit up when they saw the treasures. They handed Lin Ling 2 tokens and said, "You can stay here for 2 months, 1 month each." Most of the cities in the City of Myriad Gods were the same. One had to pay a fee to enter the city, but different places paid different treasures. Lin Ling and Daoist Master of Many Treasures did not speak and entered the city directly. Unfortunately, they were not gods who cultivated the underworld's divine abilities. After entering the city, the cultivation effect was not good. Lin Ling barely managed to get the evil ghost jellyfish. When he looked at Daoist Master of Many Treasures again, he felt uncomfortable all over. Lin Ling also sensed that the Black Mountain, which Middle Yuan City relied on, was filled with mysterious primordial qi, which was similar to the cultivation effect in Ocean Saint City. At the same time, a large number of gods around them looked at Lin Ling and Taoist master of many treasures with strange and malicious expressions. Lin Ling, there is another city gate in Middle Yuan City. Taoist master of many treasures reminded him at this time. Lin Ling nodded and unsheathed the tyrannical song sword. Murderous intent surged as he displayed his strength. He did not want to be delayed by the gods around him and waste time. Sure enough, when the tyrannical song sword was unsheathed, the gloomy gods around them restrained themselves. Lin Ling and Taoist master of many treasures did not stop and rushed toward the other city gate. However, before they reached the city gate, a rumbling sound came from behind them. The Silvermoon battleship had crashed into Middle Yuan City, causing a huge commotion in the city. This is a good chance. Lin Ling knew that even if the Middle Yuan City gave face to the Silvermoon clan, the Silvermoon clan's mighty assault would still cause the Middle Yuan City to be wary of them. Moreover, it would take a lot of time to explain. Let's leave the city. Then, they took out their tokens, handed them over to the Yikshaws guarding the gate, and rushed out of the city. Rumble. At this moment, Middle Yuan City was still in turmoil as the two sides clashed. After a short while, the huge black mountain shook slightly. Ocean Saint City, why are you making a big fuss in Middle Yuan City? Do you want to start a war? The most terrifying thing was that the majestic black mountain was actually the city lord of Zhong Yuan City. Taoist master of many treasures of many treasures. I want 2 of them. On the Silver Moon battleship, Yin Wentian laughed, but his eyes were solemn. Who? Taoist master of many people. Yin Wentian waved his arm and the portraits of Lin and Ling appeared. As for He Shan, he was silent for a moment. Using a powerful method to check the token sent out by Zhong Yuan City, he finally said, 3 incense sticks ago, they left the city. Yin Wentian's eyes flashed. Great of ocean. Of many great ocean many. The Silvermoon god said coldly. Why would I lie to you? Of course, if you want to fight, my Zhong Yuan City will accompany you. Black Mountain's voice was filled with anger. Then, countless shadows wearing cloaks and holding death scythes flew out. They were majestic and filled the sky. It was incomparably terrifying. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Yin Wentian burst into laughter. I think this is a misunderstanding. The 2 of them have nothing to do with the Zhongyuan patriarch. They are just using the Zhongyuan city as an excuse to shake us off. Zhongyuan patriarch, sorry for disturbing you. Moreover, they are using your Zhongyuan city. This matter is also a provocation to Zhongyuan City. I will capture them for you. The Black Mountain was silent for a moment as all the death gods flew back. An angry voice floated out, damn those juniors, they actually dare to use my Zhong Yuan City to cause trouble. Capture them, I want their souls. Of course. Yin Wentian led the group as they circled around Zhong Yuan City and continued their pursuit. What a cunning junior. The people of the Silver Moon clan cursed in anger. No, this is interesting, isn't it? However, not only was Yin Wentian not angry, he was even happier. From this, it could be seen how confident he was in himself. Unfortunately, no matter how cunning their scheme is, it is useless. If I, Yin Wentian, want to destroy them, it will be as easy as flipping my hand. Activate the Silver Moon Grand Light technique. Yin Wentian waved his hand. As soon as he finished speaking, the huge silver warship shot out a ray of light, breaking through the void and forming a huge halo. The halo was as big as the Holy Ocean City. The Silver Moon warship swam into it with the crowd and gradually disappeared. The previously bustling and noisy Zhong Yuan City had suddenly become completely silent. It was extremely strange. At this moment, Lin Ling and Taoist Master of Many Treasures were still running wildly. In this short period of time, both of them had recovered slightly. Have we shaken them off? Taoist Master of Many Treasures frowned. However, Lin Ling did not speak because he was not too sure. I didn't expect that two of us, the hosts of the world's will, two gods from the void of Jojo, would be hunted down together in the Tao Tower. Just thinking about it makes me feel like a drama. Taoist Master of Many Treasures could not help but laugh when he saw that they were fine. Not yet. But at this moment, Lin Ling finally spoke. As soon as he finished speaking, Taoist Master of Many Treasures noticed that a huge halo had appeared behind them. It was extremely dazzling, as if it was condensed from moonlight. Run! The two of them could not care less. They burst forth with speed and ran wildly again. Ha ha ha, I see you again. You are really not polite enough. You left without saying goodbye. You don't treat me as a friend. At the same time, Yin Wentian's laughter could be heard. On the warship, Yin Wentian stood there majestically, looking down at Lin Ling and Taoist Master of Many Treasures who had disappeared into the distance. Chase! Then, he waved his hand casually, and the huge warship under his feet chased after them again. Ha ha ha. As for the Silver Moon clan around the warship, they all laughed cheerfully as if they were playing a game. This mighty scene undoubtedly attracted the attention of many passers-by. They immediately knew that the Silver Moon clan was chasing after them. Indirectly, they also raised the prestige of the Silver Moon clan. Lin Ling, damn it, we were fooled. On the other side, Taoist Master of Many Treasures cursed angrily. Lin Ling was also cursing inwardly. The two of them were extremely fast, but they still could not escape being chased. What kind of means did the Silver Moon clan use? Now, if they could not shake them off, they would die sooner or later. It seems that it is difficult to shake them off by relying on the city of myriad gods. Lin Ling was annoyed. Suddenly, he thought of the square prison and hurriedly asked Guang Qingzi. Unfortunately, Guang Qingzi was helpless because he was not familiar with the Tao Tower. At most, he could help Lin Ling out to fight, but this kind of fight would not last long. After all, Guang Qingzi was a prisoner in the prison. It is easy to shake them off. There is a place on the third floor that is very suitable for shaking off the pursuers. Of course, it is also very dangerous for you. Chapter 4995. Are you sure? The matter was urgent, so Lin Ling couldn't care too much and hurriedly asked. Hee, let's head southeast. The mysterious Taoist didn't say much and just pointed out the direction. Lin Ling didn't hesitate and changed direction with Taoist of Many Treasures. Lin Ling, what are you doing? Taoist of Many Treasures was puzzled, but Lin Ling couldn't explain it. After flying like this for 4 hours, Lin Ling and Taoist of Many Treasures were flying at full speed, consuming the most divine essence. However, the huge battleship was still following behind them. Originally, the Silvermoon race had run out of patience and planned to end the game. However, Lin Ling and Taoist of Many Treasures' speed suddenly increased, causing the Silvermoon race to be interested again. A dense forest appeared in front of them. The forest was quiet, no different from what they usually saw. Go in. Lin Ling rushed into the forest according to the mysterious Taoist of Many Treasures. At that moment, Lin Ling suddenly realized that the forest seemed to have come alive. Retract your divine essence and walk. At the same time, the mysterious Taoist of Many Treasures' voice sounded, and Lin Ling hurriedly did as he was told. The strange thing was that after the divine essence was retracted, the forest seemed to have regained its silence. Taoist of Many Treasures was very surprised. He had been wandering around the city of myriad gods for a long time, but this was the first time he had seen such a mysterious forest. Moreover, it was Lin Ling's first time here, so why was he so familiar with this place? Let's go. At that moment, Lin Ling didn't explain and quickly walked forward. Not long after the two of them walked, the Silvermoon battleship appeared in the sky above the forest, looking down. "Young master, they're hiding in the forest," someone said respectfully to Yin Wentian. "They're probably tired. Alright, the game is over. Catch the two of them. Remember, neither of them can die." Yin Wentian smiled calmly and waved his hand. Bang! 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 The Silvermoon battleship shook slightly. At the front of the battleship, an incomparably dazzling light condensed, forming an incomparably huge divine cannon. Boom! The divine cannon suddenly shot out, and the dazzling beam of light destroyed everything in its path. Escape. Let's see how you two rats escape. The long hair of all the gods fluttered in the wind as they sneered. They knew that the forest would definitely be destroyed by this cannon. Rumble. However, this shot, which was powerful enough to kill a saint-level universe giant god, was blocked by the endless trees after it landed on the forest. It was as if the shot had hit a bubble. Next, an incomparably terrifying rebound force erupted. Rumble. The divine cannon shot back, and a huge beam of light soared into the sky. Not good. The Silver Moon race were all experts. They reacted instantly and abandoned the Silver Moon battleship, shooting into the distance. As for the god riding the giant tortoise, his expression changed drastically, and he fled without a trace. Boom! The gigantic silver light divine cannon shot into the sky and actually pierced through the Silver Moon battleship, destroying a large number of mounts. The gigantic tortoise that was as large as a city was also killed in one shot. Moreover, many of them were too slow to escape and were killed by the cannon. Meanwhile, in the forest, the expressions of Lin Ling and Daoist Duo Bao changed drastically. Previously, when the divine cannon shot down, Lin Ling had thought that they would not be able to escape this calamity. Even if they did not die, they would definitely be severely injured. He had even planned to use Pangu's true body to resist the attack. However, this mysterious forest had actually blocked the divine cannon. Lin Ling, what kind of forest is this? Daoist Duo Bao gasped. Lin Ling shook his head. Let's go. Let's continue forward. At this moment, in the sky, all the Silver Moon race members were stunned. They looked at the damaged Silver Moon battleship and then at the dense forest on the ground. Then, they all revealed furious expressions. 2 cockroaches had actually caused them to suffer such heavy losses. "Young master, those 2 rats should have been dealt with long ago," a god said to Yin Wentian as he stared at the ground with resentment. "Go down and capture them." Yin Wentian's voice deepened. After he finished speaking, he grabbed Yin Wentian's head and crushed it. It was obvious that he was very angry. This was because he had not expected that 2 mere rats could cause so many of his people to die. Kill. After hearing Yin Wentian's words, the other gods charged into the forest. They erupted with all their strength, wanting to capture Lin Ling and his group and teach them a lesson to vent their anger. However, when they charged into the forest, an ominous atmosphere pervaded the air. "Everyone, be careful." The Saint Giant Universe God beside Yin Wentian was the first to react and shouted anxiously. Unfortunately, he was a little too slow. On the ground of the forest, a large number of vines suddenly shot out and pierced through the bodies of many gods. Some gods were directly shot to death, while some gods did not die. However, they withered at a speed visible to the naked eye, and their deity energy was sucked dry. In the end, they all turned into dried corpses hanging from the vines. "You motherf asterisk cur, go to hell." Seeing so many gods die, the gods of the Silver Moon race were all enraged and attacked the forest crazily. Shio! 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 However, in exchange for more vines shooting up into the sky, the surrounding trees seemed to be moving as they attacked the gods. Don't attack. Everyone, don't attack. Suppress your deity energy. Beside Yin Wentian, the Saint Giant Universe God shouted, "This is the forest of mysteries. The entire forest is a demonic creature. Don't attack." The moment he finished speaking, the gods of the Silver Moon race all reacted and suppressed their deity energy. Even so, the forest was still attacking them. Fortunately, the Silver Moon race was united. They gritted their teeth and did not attack. In the end, after more than 10 people died, the forest gradually quieted down. "Let's go." Yin Wentian's expression was gloomy again and again as he walked to look for Lin Ling. "Young master, we can't use deity energy in this forest. Even if we find them, how are we going to take them away?" Someone said through gritted teeth, hating Lin Ling and his group to death. "There will be a way." Yin Wentian said calmly, but the anger in his heart was more intense than anyone else's. As for the front, Lin Ling and the others were still moving forward at a moderate pace. At the same time, they felt the commotion behind them and instantly knew that many of the Silver Moon race had died. "Good, let's see if they still dare to be arrogant." Taoist Master of Many Treasures felt carefree as he looked ahead. After passing through the forest, a hazy fog appeared in front of them, blocking everything. No one would have thought that the center of the forest was actually a region of clouds and fog. "Go in." Lin Ling listened to the mysterious Taoist and planned to enter the clouds and fog. According to the mysterious Taoist, the clouds and fog did not seem big, but in reality, they were as vast as the universe and could avoid the pursuit of strong beings. Unless one's luck was heaven-defying, it would be difficult for the Silver Moon race to find them. This was because the space within the clouds and fog was also overlapping. Just as Lin Ling and the others were about to enter the clouds and fog, a large number of figures appeared in the forest behind them. One of them stared indifferently at Lin Ling and his group, a flame burning in his eyes. And this person was Yin Wentian. Lin Ling glanced at them and did not say anything as he disappeared into the clouds and fog. Chapter 4996. He knew very well that the two of them hadn't entered this place by accident. They had done it on purpose, using the forest to kill the Silver Moon clan. If he had been a little faster, the two of them would have been caught, and the Silver Moon clan wouldn't have suffered any losses. All of this was caused by Yin Wentian's overconfidence. How could he not be angry? Of course, it wasn't because he was careless, but because he was more familiar with the third level than the two of them. However, the two of them had made him suffer a great loss. When everyone entered the clouds, they all disappeared. Yin Wentian had become a loner as he moved forward. What is this place? Yin Wentian thought that he had seen a lot, but he was still shocked. On the other side, Lin Ling and Taoist Duo Bao hadn't separated. They had the same red ribbon tied around their shoulders. The red ribbon had strange Genesis runes, which made them look like fireflies in the clouds. What a strange cloud. We can't communicate with the outside world, and we can't use any detection methods. My soul power is also suppressed. Lin Ling was shocked. Oh no, we've probably entered the clouds. It's said that those who enter will have to walk for the rest of their lives. Taoist Duo Bao looked around, and his expression changed drastically. Lin Ling nodded. Now, the clouds are the only way to get rid of the Silver Moon clan. I hope that as time passes, the Silver Moon clan will gradually forget about this. I hope so. Taoist Duo Bao agreed with Lin Ling, getting lost here is better than being caught by the Silver Moon clan. One should know that once they were caught, they would definitely die because the Silver Moon clan had a way to obtain the power of the world's will. Taoist Duo Bao, how did you get caught? Lin Ling asked as he continued walking. We happened to pass by the Ocean Holy City, but we were discovered and caught by the Silver Moon clan. It seems that a big shot from the upper level knows our whereabouts and is attacking us. Taoist Duo Bao said. Lin Ling frowned. Could it be the 9 stars of the universe? But Ning Qingxin once said that the 9 stars of the universe wouldn't attack us so soon. Is it the 3 divine gates of White Mountain? Or the rotten race? In the end, Lin Ling shook his head. There were too many experts at the pinnacle of deities, and it was hard to figure it out in a short period of time. After a long time, the two of them rested on the spot. Lin Ling asked the mysterious Taoist and found out that the mysterious Taoist had a way to leave. This allowed Lin Ling to finally relax. He didn't leave immediately. He guessed that countless people were looking for them in the outside world. He wanted to wait for a while before deciding what to do next. The two of them rested for a long time. Suddenly, a figure came from afar. This person appeared and disappeared from time to time. It was very strange. However, after a long time, he appeared in front of Lin Ling and Li Qie. What surprised Lin Ling and the others was that this person was actually Yin Wentian. One had to know that the mystic cloud was like a maze. The space inside was chaotic and independent. The chances of meeting someone inside were 1 in 10 million. Lin Ling and Taoist Duobao had red cloth on their shoulders, so they couldn't be separated. It's you. When Yin Wentian saw Lin Ling and Lin Feng, his face was also filled with shock. To be able to find you in the mystic cloud, it seems that this is fate. Then, Yin Wentian laughed. His laughter was very sinister, but he was also very happy. Lin Ling and Li Qie stood up, looked at each other, and shook their heads. They didn't know if it was fate or if they were just unlucky. However, now that things had come to this, it was useless to say anything. Who are you? Yin Wentian suddenly looked at Lin Ling. He was very curious about Lin Ling's origins. Why are you helping him? Do you know the consequences of offending the Silvermoon clan? Of course I know. Lin Ling smiled and nodded. He wasn't too worried. Right now, there was only Yin Wentian. If he joined forces with Taoist Duobao, they would probably be able to defeat him. The Silvermoon clan is an ancient god clan that is as famous as the Sun God clan. Lin Ling said. He had seen how strong the Sun God clan was. Back then, it was just a mere 12-winged sun god, but its strength was not weaker than his. Therefore, the Silvermoon clan was definitely not weak. Since you know that we are the Silvermoon clan, how dare you ruin my plan? Yin Wentian laughed. First, your ocean sacred city wants my Quafu sun-chasing boots. Second, I am also one of the hosts of the world's will. Lin Ling said bluntly. Yin Wentian's face changed dramatically. He looked at Lin Ling in disbelief, but he couldn't figure out anything. He knew that Taoist Duobao was the host of the world's will because God Ancestor Silver Moon had told him. I didn't expect that after so many twists and turns, we'd get the strength of 2 worlds' wills. Good, 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 this is fate. Yin Wentian licked his lips and the anger in his heart dissipated. Although many people of the Silvermoon clan had died, if he got 2 worlds' wills, everything would be worth it if he could get the strength of the world's will. Don't be too happy, because whether you can get the strength of our world's will is still unknown. Lin Ling also smiled. Lin Ling, be careful. This person is extremely powerful. He has the power of 2 quadrillion God. Taoist Duobao reminded him in a low voice. With his power, ordinary giant gods of the universe were no match for him. Only those at the level of Yin Wentian could. 20 million. He's the same as the Yellow Emperor. Lin Ling was shocked. They were both giant gods of the universe, but the gap between their power was like heaven and earth. Get ready to attack. We have no choice now. Lin Ling nodded to Taoist Duobao. Taoist Duobao immediately used his full strength. A huge gourd appeared above his head. He shouted at Lin Ling, I'll hold him back. I'll kill him. Lin Ling fused with his talent. The tyrannical song sword appeared in his hand, and he took the initiative to attack. Walala! Daoist Duobao's gourd used a powerful devouring power. It actually had the power to suck the surrounding clouds into the gourd. The devouring power enveloped Yin Wentian, greatly suppressing his power. However, his body shone with silver light, and a crescent moon appeared above his head. It was as though he had gathered the power of an entire universe. Daoist Duobao, I've already said that your world's willpower is too weak. It won't affect me much. He stretched out his palm and waved it continuously. Huge crescent moons were sent out by him. Shwa shwa. The moment these crescent moons appeared, the clouds seemed to be cut apart. His power of divinity had reached 2 quadrillion God. Daoist Duobao's expression changed drastically. Although the willpower of a world was very strong, it was divided into levels. His current level was clearly not very high. Lin Ling's eyes flashed. This person was actually stronger than the Yellow Emperor. Lin Ling also felt that Yin Wentian was not using his full power. Lin Ling rushed forward with the tyrannical song sword in hand, but a crescent moon sent him flying. Not to mention, there were so many of them. Pangu's true body. Lin Ling knew that he would not be able to win with ordinary methods. He had to use his trump card. He suddenly grew in size and turned into a giant. Looking down at Yin Wentian from above, he punched out with his gigantic fist. Pangu's bloodline. Yin Wentian narrowed his eyes. He did not expect Lin Ling to have so many tricks up his sleeves. Previously, it was a soul attack, but now, it was a physical attack. Chapter 4997. The dazzling silver moon illuminated the entire cloud zone, as if a bright moon had risen. 1,000-mile-wide silver moon blocked the top of Yin Wentian's head like a dome. Looking carefully, there were shadows on the surface of the silver moon plate. There were mountains, rivers, people, and living creatures. This was a great universe world. Rumble. In the sky, Lin Ling's fist smashed down fiercely. After landing on the huge silver moon plate, time seemed to have stopped. Under the silver moon plate, Yin Wentian's expression changed as he sensed a terrifying pressure descending from the sky. Boom! 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 Finally, a terrifying power erupted. With the two of them as the center, wind waves and divine essence charged out like a tidal wave, and the clouds and mist seemed to have been blown away. Of course, the clouds here were also very strange. Even if they were blown away, they only became lighter and didn't completely disperse. Bang! 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 Yin Wentian's legs continued to sink, and his bones made cracking sounds. Boom! Boom! At the same time, Lin Ling's fists continued to smash down, as if huge islands were rushing towards the ground. However, the silver moon plate didn't move at all. It was extremely sturdy. So powerful, his divine energy has reached 300 billion, and he even has his own great universe. Lin Ling's eyes flickered, shocked by Yin Wentian's strength. One had to know that he was now teaming up with Daoist myriad treasures. Thinking about it, if there wasn't Daoist myriad treasures, Lin Ling would probably only be able to fight to a draw and not have the upper hand. Crescent Moon. At this time, Yin Wentian also let out a low shout, and the silver moon plate above his head became a bit more complete. Under the silver moonlight sprinkled down like a curtain of rain, protecting Yin Wentian inside. Universe 3 Extreme Destruction. While Lin Ling continued to smash out with his huge fists, he also activated his trump card. Powerful soul power went around the silver moon plate and drowned Yin Wentian from all directions. Lin Ling, so strong. Daoist myriad treasure's expression changed drastically when he saw Lin Ling's overwhelming attack. He had a trump card, which was the power of the world's will. But Lin Ling had several trump cards, and they were all incomparably powerful trump cards. It was hard for him to imagine what Lin Ling had experienced after entering the Tao Pagoda. Why had his strength increased so much? Return. At the same time, Yin Wentian also let out a low roar. The silver light around his body became even denser, so dense and dazzling that it blocked the invasion of the soul. Lin Ling's 3 universes were blocked by the moonlight. This Yin Wentian is definitely one of the rarest and strongest among the king-level universe giant gods. Lin Ling sucked in a breath of cold air. His physical strength and soul power were both blocked. Too strong. Last time, Lin Ling was able to take advantage of the situation because he was caught off guard. Otherwise, he would not have been able to leave the holy city of the sea. Of course, when Lin Ling sucked in a breath of cold air, he didn't notice that Yin Wentian was also sucking in a breath of cold air. He obviously didn't expect that this young man was even more powerful than Taoist master of many treasures. He had always thought that this young man was merely an ant. Boy, you've used up your 3 axes, right? It's my turn now. At this time, Yin Wentian said coldly. It's still early. Lin Ling replied coldly. I can see that you're just showing off. However, your strength is really powerful. I, Yin Wentian, rarely praise others. You're the 3rd person in my life to be praised by me. After all, you have the strength of a peak superior god. To be able to force me to this extent, you're already amazing. Unfortunately, if it were someone else, you would have won without a doubt. But you've met me. I've cultivated for hundreds of millions of years, and I've seen all kinds of people. Even the master of your cultivation technique, the god of creation, Pangu, I'm lucky enough to meet him. Yin Wentian said coldly. His seemingly plain words were mixed with incomparable arrogance. Is that so? Then should I thank you for praising me? Lin Ling was shocked, but his arrogance was also stimulated. He, Lin Ling, had come out from the rainforest sacred land and experienced countless battles. He had defeated countless experts and swept away countless gods. When had he ever been looked down upon like this? To be honest, it had been a long time since he was looked down upon like this. Then you can try again. Lin Ling activated the Pangu's finger and shot it down fiercely. What? You have the Pangu's finger. When this terrifying power was released, Yin Wentian's expression changed drastically. He sensed that the power released by the finger did not exist in this era. It was the real god of creation's finger. He was shocked. Who exactly was this Lin Ling? Why did he have the Pangu's real body and the real Pangu's finger? Rumble. The huge finger landed on the huge silver moon disk, and the surrounding clouds dispersed, revealing a vacuum. It was terrifying. Yin Wentian's legs sank, and he stood like a horse. His face was ferocious, and his legs were trembling. It was obvious that it was extremely difficult for him to resist this finger. Caw caw caw. After a while, the huge silver moon disk emitted a crisp sound. It had obviously reached its limit and could not bear the burden. Gradually, a crack appeared, and then more and more cracks appeared. It was like glass shattering. Boom! Finally, the entire silver moon disk shattered, and the moonlight seemed to have solidified, sputtering in all directions. The huge finger shot into the clouds, stirring up endless wind and clouds. Rumble. The aftermath was turbulent, and the universe collapsed. Time and space were all shattered. Time passed quietly. Lin Ling also began to shrink slowly. He was still staring at the ground, and he saw that the clouds were rolling like waves. However, the silver moon disk had shattered, and Yin Wentian seemed to have died. He's dead. Taoist master of many treasures exhaled lightly and sat down powerlessly on the ground, as if he had exhausted all his strength. He had been assisting Lin Ling and releasing the power of the world's will. This had undoubtedly caused him to reach his limit. Lin Ling nodded. His soul power continued to search, but he could not sense Wentian. He reckoned that Wentian was really dead. It's still early. However, at this moment, a ferocious voice suddenly sounded. From the rolling clouds on the ground, a middle-aged man who looked like a deity appeared. He glared at Lin Ling and Taoist Master of Many Treasures, as if he wanted to remember Lin Ling and Taoist Master of Many Treasures. Under this furious deity, a palm-sized silver person appeared. He held a silver moon blade and looked at Lin Ling and Taoist Master of Many Treasures ferociously. Wentian was not dead. Wentian, capture them. After seizing the power of the world's will, make them suffer a fate worse than death. The furious deity spoke in a low voice. It was actually another person. Obviously, when Wentian had almost died, it was this furious deity who had helped him. This person's strength was terrifying beyond imagination. After all, this was in the clouds. Any deity would get lost if they entered, but this furious deity could come here with his consciousness. Perhaps, this person was the real master of the Holy Ocean City. Okay, I will make them suffer a fate worse than death. Chapter 4998. Father will help you. At the same time, the glaring god's body shone with silver light, illuminating the clouds and filling the sky with silver light. It was hard to imagine how terrifying this person's strength would be if he came here personally. Under the illumination of the moonlight, Lin Ling and Taoist Myriad Treasures could clearly sense that the time around them was being reorganized. Time slowed down, becoming incomparably slow. Even the flow of divine essence seemed to be frozen. Not good. Lin Ling and Taoist Myriad Treasures roared at the same time, but their voices were incomparably slow, as if they had experienced several eras. Die. At the same time, the silver dwarf held the moon blade in his hand and turned into moonlight. He attacked Taoist Myriad Treasures first. This was because Taoist Myriad Treasures' devouring power had restrained him, causing him to be attacked by Lin Ling passively. Whoosh! The blade fiercely chopped down, cutting off one of Taoist Myriad Treasures' arms. Moreover, his chest was torn open, causing blood to spurt out. Ah! Taoist Myriad Treasures screamed and fell down. Sinister villain, let's see how you attack. The silver dwarf said coldly as he floated in front of Taoist Myriad Treasures, holding the silver moon blade in his hand. However, just as he was about to kill Taoist Myriad Treasures with one slash, suddenly, a powerful force erupted and cut off the glaring god's moonlight binding, restoring time. Then, a dazzling sword light slashed over. What? You still have a trick up your sleeve. The silver dwarf's expression changed drastically as he looked at the sword in disbelief. The power of the world's will. The glaring god's expression also changed drastically. The power of the world's will was the most mystical power in the universe, even more mysterious than primordial energy. It wasn't strange that it could cut off the glaring god's moonlight. What surprised them was that the power of the world's will was actually so strong. Don't forget, I haven't used the power of the world's will. The person who had attacked was Lin Ling. He held the sword of faith in his hand and rushed in front of the silver dwarf, slashing down heavily. I'll deal with you. The silver dwarf's strength was impressive. Although he was only the size of a palm, when he slashed out, the universe collapsed. Rumble. The sword and saber collided, and the two terrifying mysterious forces collided continuously. The vacuum in the clouds became even larger, and even the glaring heavenly deity was affected, as if he was about to dissipate at any moment. After all, he wasn't here with his main body. Wentian, Father will help you. However, glaring heavenly deity was still using all his strength to help the tiny silver figure. Moonlight fell on Lin Ling's body. Although most of it was blocked by the sword of faith, it still caused Lin Ling to vomit a large mouthful of blood and be seriously injured. If this goes on, you'll definitely die. However, your will of the world is truly terrifying. I must obtain it. In front of Lin Ling, the tiny silver figure let out a sinister cry, its face terrifyingly sinister. Kill him and seize his world will's power. That glaring heavenly deity also continued to roar. It was as if the two of them were working together to suppress Lin Ling. Damn it, my sword of faith is still a little weak. However, what blade is Yin Wentian's, why is it so powerful? Lin Ling bellowed in his heart, knowing that life and death would be decided at this moment. And this feeling of life and death was something he hadn't experienced for many years. Lin Ling, I'll help you. But at this moment, a crazy voice sounded. Taoist master of many treasures, who was covered in blood and had one of his arms cut off, flew back with great difficulty from afar. A gourd appeared in his other arm, and he urged his strength to form the world will to help Lin Ling. You dare! The glaring heavenly deity didn't expect Taoist master of many treasures to be able to fight again. You've joined forces, so why can't we? Taoist master of many treasures' eyes were red. He aimed the mouth of the gourd at the tiny silver figure, and a powerful devouring power erupted. You're courting death. The tiny silver figure was already having a hard time resisting Lin Ling's sword of faith. Now that he was facing a powerful devouring power behind him, the pressure on him instantly increased. If the power behind him was only the power of the gods, or even the steps of the gods, he wouldn't be afraid. But the power behind him was the world will. Being pulled by a powerful devouring power, the tiny silver figure began to distort, as if he was about to be sucked into the gourd. Father, help me! He shouted anxiously. The glaring heavenly deity was helpless now. After all, he wasn't here with his true body. To be able to help Yin Wentian like this was already extremely powerful. How about the two of you stop now? Even though the glaring heavenly deity was furious, he suppressed his anger and spoke in a humble manner. Stop. I refuse. Lin Ling maintained his posture of slashing down with his sword and answered straightforwardly. I refuse too. Taoist master of many treasures also shouted angrily. If you dare to kill him, you will definitely die. You will have to bear the anger of my Silver Moon clan. You must know that even the Sun God clan doesn't dare to kill my son. The glaring heavenly deity was also angry. He said threateningly, not only you, but your family, your friends, and even those related to you will all be buried with you. This is what I, Yin Wanguang, said. I am the current patriarch of the Silver Moon clan. This is the blood oath I made. Once the blood oath was made, it meant that they couldn't live under the same sky. Now, the choice was on Lin Ling and Duan Wanguang. If they dared to kill them, they would have to bear the blood oath of the Silver Moon clan. Not only them, but everyone would be implicated. If they let them go, everything would be peaceful. Of course, no one was sure how long this peace would last. After all, Yin Wentian had suffered such a great loss today. After returning, would he really let Lin Ling and Duan Wanguang go? Taoist Master Duan Wanguang. Lin Ling suddenly looked at Taoist Master Duan Wanguang. Taoist Master Duan Wanguang gritted his teeth as if he was thinking about something. Finally, he looked at Lin Ling and said, You decide everything. I will accompany you. All right. Lin Ling nodded heavily and looked at Yin Wentian with red eyes. You shouldn't have offended the host of our world's will. Kill. Finally, he made a decision. Father. Yin Wentian, who had always been confident, finally felt that death was coming. He never thought that he would die here because of his carelessness while chasing the two rats. The two of you dare to kill him? I will exterminate your entire clan. I will exterminate all of you from generation to generation. I will never let you reincarnate, including all your family and friends. My Silver Moon clan swears to the universe. The glaring heavenly deity's voice became angrier and angrier. It formed a powerful curse power that enveloped Lin Ling and Daoist master Duan Wangguang. Unfortunately, Lin Ling's killing intent was set. The sword of faith slashed down. Rumble. The small silver person was slashed by the sword and his body was cut in half. Finally, he looked at the glaring heavenly deity with reluctance and gradually dissipated in the clouds. Yin Wentian, dead. It was not easy for me to have a son in my old age. You actually dared to kill him. You will regret it. Prepare to bear the wrath of my Yin Moon clan. Chapter 49-99. Suffer the wrath of our Silvermoon clan. Be angry, be angry. The clouds were tumbling, and the voice of the heavenly god was still drifting in the air. Lin Ling and Duo stood there quietly, their expressions extremely solemn. They had both witnessed the powerful power of the Great Blood Oath entering their bodies, and they couldn't get rid of it. Unless the entire Silvermoon clan was destroyed, or Lin Ling and the others were destroyed, this blood oath would never be removed. Most importantly, this Great Blood Oath was fine if it was only Lin Ling and Daoist Duobao, but it was also related to everyone Lin Ling and the others knew. This matter is troublesome. Lin Ling finally said. He had killed countless people in his life, but this was the first time he had seen such a resentful Great Blood Oath. This was because this was also a sure-kill situation. We are fine, but we are most afraid of implicating the Yellow Emperor and the others. Daoist Duobao's expression was also extremely solemn. This was the terrifying part of the Great Blood Oath. It was said that as long as someone made the Great Blood Oath, they would consume their lifespan, and the universe had its own great laws that could envelop everyone in the Great Blood Oath. This meant that as long as they were in the Tao Pagoda, no one could escape. Unless they were like Lin Ling and the others, who were in the clouds, they could escape from the Great Blood Oath's detection and pursuit. Damn it, if only I could inform Yu and the others and let them return to the Lin Ling universe immediately. Thinking of this, Lin Ling's expression became even more anxious. The clouds couldn't contact the outside world, which was a huge disadvantage. Yu and the others can escape, but what about the Yellow Emperor and the others? Daoist Duobao suddenly said, which made Lin Ling sigh softly. It's all my fault, all my fault. It's not your fault, they are the ones who pushed us too far. Daoist Duobao comforted him. However, it was just our guess before, and it might not be accurate. Let's not panic. Hearing this, Lin Ling nodded. Now, let's cultivate here first. The two of them didn't leave the clouds. They sat cross-legged and recovered their strength. On the other side, in the Holy Ocean City, a large number of experts rushed into the Holy Ocean City as if they had been summoned. What happened? The people passing by were very surprised. It was the first time they had seen the Ocean Saint City so turbulent. I heard that the son of the Silvermoon clan's patriarch, Yin Wentian, is dead. What? Someone dares to kill Yin Wentian? Are you crazy? I don't know if it's true, but I've heard of such rumors. A series of exclamations floated out from the holy city of the ocean, but when the news came out, everyone was scared to the point of trembling a little. Everyone knew how terrifying the patriarch of the Silvermoon clan was. Not to mention killing Yin Wentian, even if he dared to be arrogant in the Ocean Saint City, the end result would be his entire clan being killed. As for the patriarch of the Silvermoon clan, Yin Wangguang, he had a son when he was old. It was said that it took him more than 800 million years to give birth to Yin Wentian. How could he not dote on him? Moreover, Yin Wangguang was not the only one who doted on him. Even the Silver Moon God clan doted on him. The Silver Moon God clan was the strongest in the Silver Moon God clan. It was said that he was from the same era as Pangu and the other ancient gods. If the news was true, those murderers would definitely die. I heard that God Ancestor Silver Moon is in a higher place in the Tao Pagoda. Otherwise, he would have overturned the second level. A god said uneasily. When he thought of how terrifying God Ancestor Silver Moon was, he trembled with fear. Now, even without the Silver Moon God clan, the current patriarch of the Silver Moon clan is enough to overturn the second level of the city of myriad gods. Another god said. Maybe what you said is just a rumor. However, more people still did not believe the rumors. After all, no one was so crazy as to kill Yin Wentian. Does anyone know these two people? However, at this time, an old voice resounded throughout the city, those who know will be rewarded handsomely. Two portraits appeared. They were Lin Ling and Yin Wentian. These two people killed my son. I have made a blood oath to exterminate their entire clans. Who knows? The voice was mixed with billowing anger, and it spread to everyone's ears. The Ocean Saint City was in an uproar. No one had expected the rumors to be true. Crazy. These two people were crazy. If you don't report it, not only will you be killed, but your family and friends will also suffer. The voice floated out again, frightening everyone. Now, regardless of whether they knew these two people or not, the consequences would be severe. So domineering. Of course, some gods were not reconciled. This man, catch him, kill him, and exterminate his entire clan. Unfortunately, saying this in the Ocean Saint City could not escape Yin Wentian's senses. Yin Wentian roared angrily. Ah, no, spare my life, I just spoke without thinking. That god's expression changed greatly, and he kept begging for mercy. What was more terrifying was that he was a Saint Universe god. However, in the Ocean Saint City, ordinary Saint Universe gods were useless. A large number of great beings from the Silver Moon clan besieged that god and killed him in the end. This man is Moon Elder Wan Shan. We know his whereabouts. Someone said solemnly. Come, exterminate the entire clan of Moon Elder Wan Shan. If anyone in the city of myriad gods dares to stop you, just say that this is the order of the Silver Moon clan. The cold voice floated throughout the city. It was incomparably domineering and arrogant. It was obvious that the Silver Moon clan was truly furious. For Lin Ling and Feng Yu, they did not hesitate to stir up an era. They were swift and decisive, and they wanted to know the whereabouts of Lin Ling and Feng Yu immediately. I know that old man is Taoist Master Duo Bao. Finally, someone said anxiously. Good, this person will be heavily rewarded. With a flash of light, a tall and sturdy middle-aged man appeared on the street. He was 2 meters tall and had a thick silver beard on his face. He wore a silver robe and had an awe-inspiring presence. With his hands behind his back, he looked down at the person who spoke. Being stared at by this middle-aged man, that god trembled all over. He did not dare to look at him and lowered his head to speak. Speak. The middle-aged man was Yin Wentian. His appearance silenced the entire city, and the gods even slowed down their breathing. This person fought with me on the first level of the Dao Tower, so I know him. I know him, but if I tell you, you must protect me because he knows many great beings. I'm afraid he will come back to kill me. That god lowered his head and said. Don't worry, the Silver Moon clan will protect you. Yin Wentian said coldly, you just need to tell me where he came from. He came from the void of Jojo. He has many friends, including Lin Ling and the great god of Ling Nation. Oh right, the 5 emperors are also friends with him. Among them, the Yellow Emperor is the most familiar with him. That god gritted his teeth and said. He knew that if he did not speak, he would die. The Yellow Emperor, is it? Come, protect this person for the rest of his life. Give him treasures. Give him whatever he wants. Yin Wentian shouted, incomparably heroic. He wanted Lin Ling and Feng Yu to know that if they dared to kill his son, even if they hid at the ends of the earth, it was useless. The Silver Moon clan had the power to plunder everything. Chapter 5000. Yellow Emperor, I know. I met them not long ago. They just entered the 3rd level and are now in the area of Tree City. They are gathering. A god said. I know too. Even more gods shouted, deeply afraid that they would be implicated as well. Tree City, is it? Let's go to Tree City immediately. Yin Guang ordered. With a wave of his arm, the entire city shook. A large number of Silvermoon battleships flew out. His body turned into a ray of light and disappeared. He reappeared on the battleships and flew towards Tree City. How terrifying. Yeah, the Silvermoon clan's anger is unstoppable. They used all their ancient forces to kill those two. Those two are idiots. They could have provoked anyone but the Silvermoon clan. They even killed Yin Wentian. There's no way to stop them. It's a pity that their family and friends are going to suffer. Watching the Silvermoon clan leave, the people of Ocean Saint City discussed animatedly. At this moment, the city of myriad gods was also in an uproar. The news spread like a snowball. The faces of the city lords changed slightly. It was the first time they saw the Silvermoon clan so crazy to plunder 2 people in the city of myriad gods. Those 2 are crazy. The Yellow Emperor is related to them. He's unlucky. All the city lords were whispering to each other. Far away in the north, in the vast Tree City. The trees here were dense and filled with the rare universe wood origin. The Tree City was also one of the cities of myriad gods. There was a mysterious primordial chi under the ground that nourished everything. Brother Yellow Emperor, feel free to cultivate here. We won't be taking any of the treasures. An old man in a green robe smiled at the Yellow Emperor and the others. Green-robed ancestor, that's not good. The Yellow Emperor smiled at the green-robed ancestor as he led tens of thousands of gods to cultivate nearby. He naturally knew the green-robed ancestor. The green-robed ancestor was an ancient tree from the Desolation era and was extremely powerful. However, the Yellow Emperor did not expect the green-robed ancestor to reach the 3rd level before him and become the city lord of Tree City. Of course, the green-robed ancestor was very powerful and qualified. What's not good about it? We fought side by side in the past. I call you brother because I treat you as a brother. The green-robed ancestor smiled. Alright, then I, the Yellow Emperor, will take advantage of you. The Yellow Emperor didn't act pretentiously either. He had known the green-robed ancestor for a long time and knew that this person had many good friends. Being courteous to him would instead be insulting him. Ha ha ha. Seeing that the Yellow Emperor didn't refuse, the green-robed ancestor couldn't help but smile and said, Our Tree City includes the entire forest. You can peacefully cultivate here. No one will disturb you. He knew very well that the Yellow Emperor was one of the 5 great ancient emperors. He might be weak now, but he would definitely be stronger in the future. Befriending him now would be beneficial in the future. Everyone, please. The green-robed ancestor said to the crowd. Thank you, Senior. Yu, Lei Gong, and the others gathered here and returned the greeting politely. After the green-robed ancestor left, they all said to the Yellow Emperor, your brother is very good. Now, we're going to set up camp in Tree City. Everyone can gather here. We'll have a place to set up camp in the future. Everyone will also find this place. The green-robed ancestor has always been hospitable. The Yellow Emperor felt proud and couldn't help but laugh. They didn't notice that the green-robed ancestor and the others had stopped in their tracks. A god was whispering something in front of him, causing the green-robed ancestor's expression to change constantly. Ancestor, the Silvermoon tribe is rushing over. They're asking for the Yellow Emperor by name. They have ill intentions. Not good, we must inform the Yellow Emperor and the others and have them leave immediately. The green-robed ancestor's expression was extremely serious. He wanted to turn around. However, a few people beside him immediately pulled him back. Ancestor, we can't do that. The Silvermoon tribe knows that the Yellow Emperor is in Tree City. If they escape, wouldn't we have to bear the consequences? Moreover, the Yellow Emperor and the others killed the son of the Silvermoon tribe's leader. That's a great crime. No one or anything can make up for it. If we help the Yellow Emperor and the others, we'll be going against the Silvermoon tribe. That's right. It wasn't easy for us to take over Tree City. Are we going to waste hundreds of years of effort just because of a few outsiders? Even if you don't look at yourself, you have to look at your brothers. The green-robed ancestor's expression changed drastically. He gritted his teeth. You want me to betray them? This isn't betrayal. It's just that I can't help with this matter. Yes, let them face the Silvermoon tribe. We're already doing our duty by not doing anything. The others continued to persuade him. In the future, if they find out that I'm the one who harmed them, how am I going to face them? With their temper, they'll definitely kill us. After all, they treated me like a brother and I betrayed them. The green-robed ancestor kept shaking his head. Humph, with just them. The other gods snorted. They're not even as strong as us now. Let's talk about it after they escape from the Silvermoon tribe. Ancestor, we can't miss this opportunity. Don't go down the wrong path. The green-robed ancestor finally made up his mind. He turned around and looked at the Yellow Emperor in the distance. His eyes were filled with guilt. The Yellow Emperor seemed to have noticed the green-robed ancestor's gaze. He looked over and smiled apologetically. It was as if he felt bad for disturbing Tree City. The green-robed ancestor couldn't bear to look at this smile. In the end, he left silently. Seeing that the green-robed ancestor didn't care about this matter, the other gods sneered and began to supervise Lei Gong and the others. Time passed quietly. Finally, a majestic aura appeared in the sky. A large number of battleships covered the entire Tree City. Who's the Yellow Emperor? A loud and deafening roar came crashing down. The Yellow Emperor and the others were cultivating in the dense forest. When they heard this, their expressions changed drastically. The Silvermoon tribe and the Yellow Emperor are there. Someone pointed at Lei Gong and the others and said, You. Lei Gong and the others frowned because the person who pointed at them was the green-robed ancestor's trusted aide. Moreover, they saw that the green-robed ancestor and the others had disappeared. They didn't know where they went. Very good, it's you. A burly middle-aged man floated out from a huge battleship in the sky. With a wave of his right hand, the portraits of Lin Ling and Daoist Duo Bao appeared. Do you know these two people? Yin Wanguang asked. This. Lei Gong and the others had serious expressions. They didn't answer for a while. Not going to say it? If not, all of you will die. Yin Wanguang's voice was filled with killing intent. These people are very strong. Let me deal with them. The Yellow Emperor knew that he had no choice but to step forward. He said, We know each other. One of them is Lin Ling, and the other is Daoist Master Duo Bao. I wonder if there is any misunderstanding between you two. Chapter 5001. Your son. The Yellow Emperor and the others were shocked. They guessed that Lin Ling had gotten himself into big trouble. They stared at the experts in the sky and guessed that it must be a big trouble for them to come here in such a grandiose manner. Do you regret it? Yin Wanguang asked again, staring at the Yellow Emperor and the others. Although I don't know what happened, there's nothing to regret. What are you going to do now? Kill us? A voice suddenly rang out, it was Sakura. He smiled faintly and said, If you want to see us begging for mercy so that you can lessen the pain of your lost son, I advise you to stop dreaming. We have experienced many ups and downs along the way, what's there to lose? I've never seen it before. Alright, who else thinks so? Yin Wanguang laughed coldly. Me. Me too. Yu and the others all spoke. Other than Xingyi and Nanwu Fengyu, the others looked at Yin Wanguang fearlessly. Let me ask you one more time. Who is this Lin Ling to you? Yin Wanguang asked. He's our family and our leader. Yu and the others spoke in unison. All of you must die. I want him to experience the pain of losing his family and friends. Ha ha ha. Yin Wanguang laughed maniacally. The rest of you, if you want Lin Ling to die, step forward. Yin Wanguang spoke again. The Yellow Emperor and the others fell silent, frowning. Emperor Jun clenched his teeth and was about to beg for mercy. We are all Lin Ling's friends. If he kills your son, then your son deserves to die. Suddenly, Emperor Shun said indifferently, his eyes fixed on Yin Wanguang. Emperor Shun. Emperor Shun looked at Emperor Shun in disbelief. One had to know that Emperor Shun was Lin Ling's greatest enemy. Although they had made peace, there was no grudge between them. Great Emperor Di Jun, we should be united after coming to the 3rd level. If we fight among ourselves, how can we reach the 4th level? This Tao Pagoda has existed since ancient times and represents the strongest great cosmos. It is a powerful force that can fight against the primal chaos realm, but this path is definitely not an easy one. Great Emperor Di Jun, if you are afraid of death, why did you enter the Tao Pagoda in the first place? Why don't we find a place to hide and cultivate? Isn't that safer? Since you've entered this place, you should be prepared to die. Emperor Shun said. Emperor Jun's expression changed slightly, and he gradually fell silent. He wanted to beg for mercy because he didn't want to die. However, since he did not want to die, why did he enter the Tao Pagoda? Fine, all of you will die. I will kill you one by one in front of Lin Ling and Taoist master of many treasures. Yin Wanguang said savagely. With a stomp of his foot, the silver light battleship shot out a huge beam of light, enveloping everyone on the ground. The Yellow Emperor's eyes were cold and he wanted to attack. He was not the kind of person who would allow others to trample on him. Who dares to resist? Everyone related to him will die. However, Yin Wanguang's angry roar made the Yellow Emperor's pupils constrict. In the end, he did not attack. His gaze turned to the tree city and landed on the green-robed ancestor. The Yellow Emperor knew very well that if he resisted, the green-robed ancestor would definitely be implicated. And this matter had nothing to do with the green-robed ancestor. Old brother Yellow Emperor. Sensing the Yellow Emperor's gaze, the green-robed ancestor felt a heart-wrenching pain. Even at this time, the Yellow Emperor still believed in him, but what about him? He was worse than a dog. Take them away. Under Yin Wanguang's roar, the silver moonlight enveloped hundreds of thousands of people, and they flew majestically into the distance. They're finally gone. Looking at the tree city again, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Although they were also the city of myriad gods, they were obviously unable to resist Yin Wanguang. And if Yin Wanguang wanted to destroy them, it would be a matter of killing 1,000 enemies and injuring 800 of his own men. If it were any other time, Yin Wanguang would naturally not be so crazy. But now, his son was dead. How could he not go crazy? Look, the culprit has been caught. It shouldn't be. It's probably someone related to the culprit. Sigh, they're really unlucky. Hundreds of thousands of people died to atone for their sins. The Silver Moon clan is indeed domineering. The huge Silver Moon battleship flew across the sky, and the people they met along the way were all discussing. Yin Wanguang, I'll help you. As they passed by Zhongyuan City, the Zhongyuan ancestor let out a low growl. Yin Wentian left in my Zhongyuan City. I can't escape from this matter. All right. Yin Wanguang nodded coldly. The Zhong Yuan ancestor pointed out a direction and led Yin Wan Guang and the rest into the distance. How did Lin Ling provoke these experts? Looking at their background, they're probably not much weaker than the rotten tribe. Brother Ling wouldn't provoke them for no reason. They must have provoked Brother Ling first, and Brother Ling was forced to fight back. Now, where did Lin Ling go? I hope he's fine. The Yellow Emperor, Lei Gong, and the rest were constantly discussing. They were very worried about Lin Ling. After a long time, the group stopped in a forest. They disappeared into the forest. The Zhong Yuan ancestor said indifferently. It's actually such a demonic forest. Yin Wan Guang's face turned even colder as he shouted, "Destroy this demonic forest for me." He was very clear that ordinary people couldn't kill his son. Moreover, his son had brought out so many experts. It must be this forest that had stopped his son and the rest. Rumble. In the sky, hundreds of silver moon battleships gathered divine light and bombarded the ground. Shio shio shio. Countless vines rushed out from the ground, and the more they were attacked, the stronger the counterattack. Destroy. However, Yin Wan Guang was already in a killing frenzy. He ordered the Silver Moon clan to fight force with force and kill with all their might. With Yin Wentian dead, the entire Silver Moon clan has gone crazy. They're even fighting force with force in the demonic forest. If they're not crazy, what are they? At this time, whoever provokes them is equivalent to having half a foot in the underworld. I wonder if the two murderers will be caught in the end. In the distance, a large number of gods flew over. Seeing the demonic scene before them, their faces were all pale. Silver Moon Clan, I'm here to help you. Moreover, some gods took the opportunity to befriend the Silver Moon Clan and help out. Rumble. After an unknown period of time, the terrifying demonic forest was also eradicated. Flames soared into the sky, and the huge vines fell to the ground powerlessly, burned by the flames. Advance. Yin Wan Guang seemed to be showing his anger to the world, showing the power of the Silver Moon clan. Tens of millions of gods advanced once again with great vigor. However, this time, the endless clouds stopped them. Destroy. Yin Wan Guang ordered the Silver Moon clan to attack again. Rumble. However, no matter how powerful the attacks were, they would eventually disappear without a trace. This attack went on for a full 2 hours. However, the clouds continued to tumble and didn't move at all. Not to mention attacking, even the powerful devouring power couldn't devour the clouds. Attack. Yin Wan Guang seemed to be getting more and more anxious. He couldn't wait to avenge his son's death. Yin Wan Guang, don't. However, the Zhong Yuan ancestor immediately dissuaded him. The others also spoke one after another. Chapter 5002. Hearing everyone's advice, Yin Wan Guang roared, "What's there to be afraid of? I'm going to fight it out with them. Is there anything in this world that can stop me from taking revenge?" Everyone was shocked. They felt that Yin Wan Guang had lost his mind. Yin Wan Guang, if you get lost in there too, that would be too easy for the culprit. How are you going to take revenge for your son? However, an elder suddenly advised. His words made Yin Wan Guang calm down. Only when it concerned his son's revenge could he remain calm. Then what do you all say? If they hide in there and don't come out, are we going to wait here forever? Yin Wan Guang roared. How about this? Kill their family and friends. After all, if they are gods, they can sense that their family and friends are in danger. As long as the feeling accumulates, they will know that we are outside the clouds. If they don't come out, we'll keep killing until they come out. The elder suggested. He was the 5-spirit prophet, and he was an ancient 5-spirit tree. You're right, 5-spirit prophet. Yin Wan Guang nodded. Sigh, I only hope that the Silver Moon clan won't do anything that will affect the peace of the city of myriad gods. The 5 spirit prophet said. Don't worry, I only want the culprit. Yin Guang nodded. He looked at the Yellow Emperor and the others and said indifferently, who among you is closest to those two? Step forward. I'm his wife. Yu stepped forward immediately. Yu. Everyone was shouting loudly, not understanding why Yu took the initiative to walk out. You're really straightforward. Yin Guang was also very surprised. We can't escape death, so why drag it out? Yu shook her head and said. She was not afraid of death. She knew very well that they would definitely die if they were surrounded by so many experts. Since they could not escape death, she might as well be straightforward. She hoped that her death would let Lin Ling know that he would leave this place and come back for revenge after he became stronger. Alright, since you're so straightforward, I'll give you a quick death. Yin Guang nodded. With a wave of his hand, the silver light turned into a light pillar and shot towards Yu. Rumble. Yu was bathed in moonlight and could not resist at all. Her body continued to burn. Yu. Lei Gong and the others were all shouting. They wanted to save Yu, but the silver light that enveloped them was too strong. They couldn't resist at all. He could only watch as Yu was burned to death. Brother Ling. Yu remained motionless, with only a blissful smile on her face. It was as if she had returned to the Gu Yen sect in the rainforest, the scene of a young man and a young woman holding hands under the sun, walking further and further away. Yu is satisfied to be able to follow you for the rest of your life. Yu must not come out until you become stronger. Yu, I won't be able to take care of you anymore. In a million years, Brother Ling, you must remember Yu. Although Yu had a blissful smile on her face, because of her reluctance to part with Lin Ling, a tear flowed out from the corner of her eye. However, they were all burned to ashes in the end. Yu. Seeing Yu die, Yuer and the others all shouted and cried sadly. Who's the second one? It's me. I'm also his wife. Yuer shouted and tears flowed down uncontrollably. Good, I didn't expect you to be so straightforward. Don't blame me. If you want to blame someone, blame your man for killing my son. Yin Guang nodded coldly and burned Yuer again. Lin Ling, right? Are you still not coming out? If you don't come out, your family and friends will all die. Also, don't think that this matter is settled. If you don't come out for a million years, I'll enter the underworld and ask for the reincarnation manual to find out the whereabouts of your family and friends. Even if they reincarnate, I'll take their lives. Come out. Yin Guang's eyes were red and he kept shouting. That's crazy. Hundreds of thousands of people were all killed just for Yin Wentian. Who asked those two to court death? Some people sympathized with Yin Guang, while others gloated. Kill again. After Yin Guang killed Yuer, he attacked again. At this moment, in the depths of the fog, two figures were sitting cross-legged and cultivating. Suddenly, Lin Ling felt uneasy, and then he spat out a large mouthful of blood. His pupils trembled, and his heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. Then, he spat out mouthfuls of blood. Lin Ling, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Spiritual Master Duobao's expression changed drastically. He didn't know what had happened. However, Lin Ling did not pay attention to him. Instead, he stood up and looked at the rolling clouds. Why? Why do I have this feeling? They told me not to go out. No. Lin Ling's heart was in pain. It was the first time in his life that he felt such pain. No. He kept shouting and kneeling on the ground, kowtowing as tears flowed out crazily. Lin Ling, what's wrong with you? Spiritual Master Duobao was scared out of his wits. He looked at Lin Ling, who was crying in pain, and found it hard to imagine that this was the number one god in Jojo. This was a man who had killed his way to the Tao realm and met countless ancient gods, yet he didn't retreat in the slightest. Such a man was actually crying. Yu, senior sister Yu, who is it? Who is killing them? Lin Ling suddenly stood up, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. The fog was attacked and turned into a vacuum. Yu and the others. Spiritual Master Duobao knew what had happened, but he was afraid that it was a trap. Then, he saw Lin Ling striding forward. Lin Ling, don't be rash. This might be a trap. Spiritual Master Duobao roared and rushed in front of Lin Ling to stop him. However, when he saw Lin Ling, his heart felt as if it had been struck by lightning. This was because this indomitable man had tears of blood flowing out of his eyes. How sad must a person be for him to shed tears of blood? At this moment, Spiritual Master Duobao didn't stop Lin Ling. Instead, he silently followed Lin Ling. His heart felt as if it was being cut by a knife. It was as if he could feel Lin Ling's sadness. Dead, they are all dead. Yellow Emperor, Lei Gong, they are all dead. Lin Ling was like a walking corpse as he slowly walked forward. This way. A voice was guiding Lin Ling to walk out of the fog. The voice came from Lin Ling's square prison. It was obviously the green-robed Taoist. Are you crazy? The Silvermoon race must be forcing him out, and you are actually guiding the way. Guang Qingzi, this is a life and death calamity that he must face. You and I cannot interfere. The voice was constantly drifting out, but no one heard it. Lin Ling was still walking forward. Scenes appeared in his mind, the Gu Yen sect that he met with Yu, the Heaven Mystics Kingdom that helped in Yuer, the Lei Gong that he met in the 9 Prefectures Void, the Yellow Emperor that he met in the Tao realm. There were too many things. These were all his family and friends. He had always been protecting his family, even in the Tao Pagoda. But in the end, they still died. Die for me. Chapter 5003. Outside the clouds, countless people sighed. Even some cold-blooded gods shook their heads secretly. Killing hundreds of thousands of people in front of so many people just for the sake of 2 people. Not everyone could do such a thing. However, at this moment, a sword rushed out of the clouds. The rolling clouds were actually split into 2. A white-haired man, holding a sword, walked out step by step. His pace wasn't fast, but he appeared in front of everyone in the blink of an eye. Behind him was an old man. The 2 of them are the murderers who killed Yin Wentian. So cold. Why did his hair turn white? Everyone was extremely shocked. They never thought that the 2 of them would be the ones who stirred up the storm on the 3rd level. However, when their gazes landed on the white-haired man, they felt a chill in their hearts. Even looking at him was so cold, let alone approaching him. You finally came out. After seeing who it was, Yin Wanguang's eyes turned red. You must be angry, right? Ha ha ha, how does it feel to watch your family and friends die? Yin Wanguang roared ferociously as if he was venting something. When you killed my son, didn't you think about my feelings? I, Yin Wanguang, finally gave birth to a son after so many years, but you killed him. What can't you talk to me about? Tell me, what can't we talk about? Why did you have to kill him? It's you. You killed them together. At that time, I asked you to stop, but you just had to attack. Now, you know what kind of mistake you made. Yin Wanguang kept roaring. With every sentence he said, his emotions rose. In the end, he even exploded with a terrifying aura. However, Lin Ling and Zhenren of many treasures ignored him. Instead, they stared at the remaining people. Lin Ling's hair was white, and he looked as if he had lost his soul. He couldn't see Yu and the others. He couldn't see his big brother, Lei Gong, Shengyi, and the others. Lin Ling. The Yellow Emperor, Great Emperor Xuanqiu, and the others were still there. At this moment, they were all looking at Lin Ling. When they saw Lin Ling's white hair and cold aura, they didn't know why, but they felt a heartache. They were too familiar with this man. They knew that even when he was suppressed under the 9 hells, he had never been so sad. Ha ha ha, not speaking, I'll kill you again. Seeing Lin Ling's silence, Yin Wan Guang gritted his teeth and roared. Nan Wu Feng Yu. Of you. Lin Ling finally spoke. He stepped forward and slashed forward with his sword. Stop him. Yin Wan Guang roared, wanting Lin Ling to taste the pain of losing his friends and family. Many of the Silvermoon race's experts rushed out to stop Lin Ling. Yin Wan Guang continued to burn Nanwu Fengyu with his silver moonlight. Lin Ling, every injustice has its perpetrator. You killed my son, so I'll bury your friends and family with you. In the future, if you have the ability, you can bury my ocean sacred city with you. I, Yin Wan Guang, can do that. Unfortunately, you'll never have that day. Yin Wan Guang laughed heartily. He seemed to be very happy, but many people could sense that this laughter was a kind of madness. Xiao. Lin Ling didn't say a word. He just slashed out. Hong Long Long. The dazzling sword slashed out, and half of the charging Silvermoon gods were slain. Many of them were universe gods, but they were all useless. Everyone's expression changed. What was Lin Ling's sword? Why was it so powerful? Stop him. Yin Wan Guang didn't kill Lin Ling. How could he let Lin Ling off so easily? Even if he had to sacrifice his life, he wanted Lin Ling to witness the deaths of his family and friends. Stop. Lin Ling roared again. He went on a killing spree. He was in a killing frenzy. As long as it was someone in front of Nanwu Fengyu, he would kill them all. Stop him. Yin Wan Guang roared, calling for more experts to attack. These experts knew that their goal wasn't to kill Lin Ling, but to stop Lin Ling from saving Nanwu Fengyu. Yin Wan Guang, I'll help you. Central Yuan Old Ancestor also attacked. He looked coldly at Lin Ling. The two of you caused me to be implicated. Now you're bearing my anger. Lin Ling, I'll help you. At this moment, Taoist of Many Treasures also attacked. He activated his world will to help Lin Ling. Sigh, why kill so much? However, the 5 spirit prophet sighed. With a wave of his hand, an ancient 5-color tree branch appeared in his hand. He gently brushed it. This brushing carried powerful divine power and the power of the universe. The devouring power released by Taoist of Many Treasures was swept far away. You all are despicable. Taoist of Many Treasures' eyes were red. He gritted his teeth and roared, if Yin Wentian hadn't wanted to steal my world will and take our lives, we wouldn't have killed them. Although we've killed countless people in our lives, we can't just wait to be captured. Here. Although we're gods, we're also humans. Since we're humans, we can't do it. We can't do anything. Unfortunately, no one paid attention to him. Everyone frantically attacked to stop Lin Ling. Lin Ling's white hair fluttered. His eyes were as red as blood. The cold air released from his body froze everything within 1,000 miles. But in the end, he could only watch as Nanwu Fengyu died. It's their turn now. Yin Wan Guang activated his silver light and attacked the Yellow Emperor. Die. Lin Ling's sword was also constantly killing gods, but he still couldn't save anyone. Powerless, in pain, ha ha ha. Yin Wan Guang laughed even louder. Lin Ling, don't be sad. The moment we stepped into the Tao Pagoda, we were prepared to die. In this universe, no god is immortal. The Yellow Emperor's body was burning, but he looked at Lin Ling and smiled. Lin Ling's heart exploded. Although he had known this for a long time, seeing his family and friends die was still a knife to his heart. He still couldn't accept it. Lin Ling, We don't blame you. Emperor Shun was also burning. She looked at Lin Ling and smiled. Emperor Jun, Emperor Xuanxu, and the others had complicated expressions. But knowing that they were going to die, they gradually relaxed. Lin Ling, the path to the end of the Tao Pagoda was never easy. We can only say that we failed. The 5 emperors gradually turned to dust. Their souls were also burned into nothingness, dissipating into the sky. Gradually, hundreds of thousands of gods were burned. The scene was incomparably spectacular. Surprisingly, no one blamed Lin Ling. Everyone was prepared to die. Perhaps, when they weren't facing death, they were strong enough to survive. But when they felt that death was inevitable, they could face it openly. Perhaps they knew that they had done their best. Die, all of you. Chapter 5004. Now, it's your turn. After venting his anger, Yin Wan Guang looked coldly at Lin Ling and said, I know that you are the hosts of the world will and can be reincarnated. However, it will be difficult for you to enter the Tao Pagoda. You can only enter the weak myriad worlds. I will find you there. You will kill your family and friends in the myriad worlds again until you are too afraid to reincarnate. Ha ha ha. Hearing Yin Wan Guang's words, many people shook their heads secretly. He was too cruel. Kill for generations to come, kill for people to collapse, kill for people to not dare to reincarnate. Wait, you can't kill him. However, at this time, a large number of figures appeared. They were all wearing monk robes. They were the 3 gods of White Mountain. Get out of here. Yin Wan Guang recognized them, but he still roared. Silver Moon Clan, this is the order of the Buddha God. I hope you can give us some face. Among those people, the leader sighed and said, revenge breeds revenge. When will it ever end? This will only make you sink into hatred for the rest of your life. Why don't you just let it go? You've killed hundreds of thousands of Lin Ling's people. Give Lin Ling to us and we'll purify him. Yes. Get out of here. However, Yin Wan Guang did not compromise. He took a step forward and charged toward Lin Ling. But at this time, more people came to help. More than a dozen figures appeared, and their strength was heaven-defying. One of them slashed out with a sword, and actually blocked the silver light. Pure sun. Yin Wan Guang looked up and his expression changed dramatically. He looked at the others and found that they were all as strong as him. You can't kill Lin Ling. Pure Sun pointed his sword at Yin Wan Guang and said, he is the disciple of Patriarch Bodhi. You can't kill him. Get the hell out of here. Even if Patriarch Bodhi is here today, I'll still kill them all. Taoist Pure Sun, I'll give you some face and let this matter rest. But if you dare to stop me again, don't blame me for being impolite. Yin Wan Guang said angrily, don't think that Patriarch Bodhi is great. Our God Ancestor Silver Moon is not afraid of him. God Ancestor Silver Moon is indeed powerful, and we respect him. But we can compromise on anything, except for Lin Ling. Taoist Pure Sun shook his head. Hee, Mr. Pure Sun, what do you want Lin Ling for? Could it be that you are very interested in the host body of the world will? However, at this time, there were more experts who arrived. Their bodies reeked of stench, and they all wore large cloaks. Their bodies were covered in flying bugs. The gods in the surroundings immediately dodged far away, their expressions grave. Everyone knew that this group was from the ancient universe race, the rotting race. Yin Wan Guang, we will help you. After the rotten race appeared, they all leaned towards the Silver Moon race. They had great enmity with Lin Ling, so naturally, they would not let Lin Ling off. Who would have thought that Lin Ling and Luo Feng would attract so many ancient races of the universe? When the crowd saw this scene, they all sighed repeatedly. Is that so? Then I will represent the Sun God race to help Lin Ling. However, at this moment, more people from the ancient races of the universe arrived. They bloomed with the light of the sun and stood on equal footing with the Silver Moon race. Sun God race. Many people's pupils trembled fiercely. One had to know that there were not many people from the Sun God race in the city of myriad gods. Moreover, their relationship with the Silver Moon race had always been bad. At this sensitive moment, they actually planned to help Lin Ling and provoke the relationship between the two races. Relationship. Sun God race, scram. Yin Guang was enraged. He did not expect that Lin Ling and Luo Feng would attract so many people's help. However, those who helped were not weak. If he wanted to kill Lin Ling and Luo Feng, it would be very difficult. You dare to kill my people? I will kill you. However, just as everyone thought that the two sides were in a difficult situation, a cold voice suddenly sounded. This voice came from Lin Ling. I will handle my own family matters. Lin Ling's white hair fluttered in the wind. His body suddenly enlarged, turning into a pangolin giant and charging towards Yin Guang. He actually wanted revenge. Whoever dares to stop me will be the enemy of Lin Ling. When Taoist Pure Sun and the others heard this, they did not dare to make a move. Lin Ling, you are not his match. Within the Sun God race, the 12-winged Sun God anxiously shouted. Unfortunately, Lin Ling did not hear at all. Even if he did, he would not have cared. There was only one person in his eyes, and that was Yin Guang. Come and fight. Yin Guang's body also enlarged, turning into an angry heavenly god as he viciously struck out with his palm. A full 500 billion divine force was struck out, and the entire sky seemed to explode. Boom boom boom. Even the gods who were close to him were blown apart. Boom. Lin Ling also punched out, but his huge body flew backwards. Facing 500 billion divine force, he could not block it. Bang! However, Lin Ling was like a madman as he pounced forward again. 3 extreme universe breaks were released at the same time. Lin Ling, I will help you. Taoist myriad treasures also flew out, fearlessly helping Lin Ling. Ant. Yin Guang's body bloomed with dazzling and ferocious moonlight as he pointed at Taoist myriad treasures. Walala. Taoist myriad treasures turned into nothingness at a visible speed, unable to withstand a single blow. Moreover, the moonlight pierced through Taoist myriad treasures and landed on the distant gods, obliterating tens of thousands of them. Although Yin Guang was only a Saint Universe god, he was definitely one of the best, and his strength was incomparably terrifying. Break for me. After killing Taoist myriad treasures, Yin Guang roared, and his divine force reached 800 billion, blocking Lin Ling's 3 extreme universe breaks. One had to know that this was soul power. This meant that the most basic attack of the gods, the power of the gods, could also reverse the universe if it was strong to the limit. Lin Ling, you want to kill me? Do you have the right to do so? The silver light brought with it a blinding moonlight and charged towards Lin Ling. He punched out and the universe appeared. It was vast and mighty, destroying everything in its path. Lin Ling knew that he was no match for Yin Guang, but he didn't retreat. His right fist collided with Yin Guang's, and with a boom, his entire arm exploded, blood splattering everywhere. Boom! Yin Guang withdrew his fist, and his fists rained down on Lin Ling's chest like a storm. Some of his fists penetrated Lin Ling's chest, while others destroyed Lin Ling's internal organs. Die! However, Lin Ling didn't seem to feel pain. His left fist was still attacking, landing on Yin Guang's face. Although it didn't cause any fatal injuries, it knocked Yin Guang's head askew. The two of them were like the most ancient giants who had mastered simple and crude close combat. Of course, no one dared to underestimate this close combat, because the power of their battle was enough to destroy any great universe. He's not seeking revenge, he's seeking death. The 12-winged young god saw this scene, and his heart suddenly ached. Lin Ling's wife, family, and friends were all dead. Lin Ling's heart was dead, so he was more like accompanying his family and friends on the road to death. You dare hit me? Die. After being punched by Lin Ling, Yin Wanguang was enraged. He pushed his divine force to 1 trillion and attacked Lin Ling's head. This punch could take Lin Ling's life. Chapter 5005. The huge finger pierced through the void and shot towards Yin Wanguang at a terrifying speed. It was not difficult for this finger to destroy the great universe. Yin Wanguang also seemed to have gone mad. Not only did he not block it, but his huge palm was like a fan that ruthlessly slapped towards Lin Ling's head. Both of them were bloodshot. They were venting their anger for their loved ones. This was a battle to the death. Of course, Yin Wanguang was strong and could fight, but Lin Ling might not. Puff! The giant finger arrived first, breaking through Yin Wanguang's protective spirit essence and landing on Yin Wanguang's left eye. With a puff, the left eye was pierced through and blood gushed out like a raging river. This was a ghastly sight. Countless people cried out in alarm. However, Yin Wanguang acted as if he didn't know pain. His huge palms slammed towards Lin Ling with terrifying divine energy. Rumble. The deafening sound was like thunder. Lin Ling's cheeks were deformed and his bones cracked. Then, his entire head exploded. Blood turned into a bloody mist and dyed the sky red. Ha ha ha, die for me. After Yin Wanguang succeeded, he punched at Lin Ling. With a boom, he broke Lin Ling's heart. At this moment, the 12-winged young god and Taoist pure sun both shouted. Their bodies trembled and they finally fell silent. Time seemed to have stopped at this moment. Lin Ling's headless corpse floated in the air, but gradually lost its vitality. His strength poured out like a great universe collapsing, exploding with a boom. Blood rained down from the sky. The scene was extremely spectacular. Dead. Lin Ling, who came from the void of the 9 states, was finally killed. Looking at this scene, everyone's breathing seemed to have stopped. They did not even blink. Of course, many people were not familiar with Lin Ling. They just suddenly felt that this man was a true hero. Even if someone helped him, even if someone saved him, he did not want it. He wanted to fight with his life on the line. His family and friends had died in front of him. He could not be a coward. He only wanted to fight. Yin Wanguang is blind. Everyone looked at the silvery light floating in the sky, and their hearts trembled violently. Yin Wanguang's left eye seemed to have been attacked by some unknown force, and it couldn't recover. Only an empty eye hole was left, and blood kept flowing out. It looked very ferocious. Ha ha ha, how dare you kill my son? How dare you kill my son? However, Yin Wanguang did not care about the pain in his eyes. Instead, he laughed wildly. He looked as if he was venting his anger, but also as if he was relieved. That man is indeed a tough nut to crack. He used his death in exchange for an eye that shone with a myriad of silver lights. Many people sighed inwardly. If it were them, they wouldn't be able to do this. At the very least, when one's life was at stake, so what if they were family or friends? Could they compare to one's own life? Alas! Taoist Pure Sun sighed and looked deeply at Yin Wanguang. As for the 12-winged young god, her eyes were somewhat moist. She was moved by Lin Ling. This man did not hesitate to fight a bloody battle against his enemies for his wife, for his family, and for his friends. He did not fear death. This was a real man. Suddenly, she envied the Yellow Emperor and the others. Look, he's not dead yet. Suddenly, someone cried out in surprise. The rain of blood was still falling from the sky, but a white-haired man was standing there. It was Lin Ling. He looked coldly at everyone present and did not say a word. Impossible, why isn't he dead yet? Many people were shocked. Being stared at by Lin Ling, they felt a chill in their hearts. He's already dead. This is his soul. Because he died with his eyes open, it will take some time to dissipate. However, at this moment, the 5 spirit prophets said indifferently. Hearing his words, many people relaxed. However, when they stared at Lin Ling's soul, the coldness in many people's hearts became even colder. A feeling spread in their hearts. It was fear. They did not know why they were afraid of that soul, but they felt that it was very terrifying, as if they were about to die in that soul. I'll be back. Suddenly, Lin Ling said softly. His soul finally began to dissipate as if it was being sucked into the universe. It flew toward the sky and gradually disappeared. I'll be back. This soft voice entered everyone's hearts and inexplicably made many people tremble. Would he be back? Although many people knew that this was simply impossible, they still felt very uncomfortable when they heard that curse-like voice. Ha ha ha, can you still come back? Among everyone, only Yin Wan Guang laughed loudly, not afraid at all. It was a pity that Lin Ling's soul had already dissipated. You are the host of the world's will. You will definitely be reincarnated. I will find you and kill all your friends and family in every life, ha ha ha. Yin Wan Guang laughed crazily and led the people of the Silver Moon race away. Everyone witnessed the disappearance of the Silver Moon race and sighed in their hearts. In order to avenge his son, hundreds of thousands of people were buried with him. Even the Silver Moon race had suffered countless casualties. Yin Wan Guang is too crazy. The 5 spirit prophets sighed. He knew very well that if he had not suggested killing Lin Ling's friends and family, perhaps even more people would have died in this battle. The crazy Yin Wan Guang was someone who could do anything. This is normal. Both of them fought for their friends and family. There is no right or wrong. It's only about who is stronger. Yin Wan Guang is right. That youth is also right. Their mistake is that they clashed with each other in their era and fought with each other. Someone suddenly said. It was pure sun. That's right. Between them, there is no right or wrong. Chapter 5006. What are you doing? The huge sword slashed down, causing many gods to be dissatisfied. If you want to find treasures, come down and find them yourself. Why are you attacking us? Could it be that you want to take everything for yourself? Someone said angrily. All of you, go to hell. The 12-winged yang god's killing intent surged as it pounced down. Sigh, what a sin. Seeing a large number of gods being killed, the 5 spirit prophets sighed again. You have guts. The remaining gods dispersed, not daring to provoke the solar god race. However, they were incomparably angry because they felt that the solar god race was too greedy. They actually wanted to monopolize all the gods' flesh and bones. Lin Ling, you will definitely come back. I will wait for you. The 12-winged yang god continued to collect the flesh on the ground. Even if it was crushed into the size of a fingernail or dust, she would not let it go. As time passed, all the gods left. Only the 12-winged yang god continued to collect Lin Ling's flesh and blood. 1 year passed, 2 years passed, 3 years passed. 10 years passed quietly. On the other side, the bronze door opened and appeared at the top of the Dao Tower, absorbing the souls of the dead. Pa! 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 Inside the bronze door, terrifying nether lightning raged. Every soul that entered the bronze door was ravaged by the nether lightning. Their souls collapsed, leaving behind a weak soul that entered the netherworld. Because there were gods dying all the time in the Dao Tower, there were many gods that entered the bronze door. These gods were powerful when they were alive, and their souls were condensed, so they needed nether lightning to kill them. Moreover, the gods that entered the netherworld would no longer have their divine positions. If they reincarnated again, they would become mortals and would never be able to enter the ranks of gods again. After all, it was no longer the time of the great calamity of the world's will. There was no possibility of resurrection for gods. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. A powerful soul was struggling, and as it danced, the surrounding souls were all affected. The weaker souls were directly scattered, and they did not even have the chance to reincarnate. However, the suction force of the bronze door was incomparably powerful. It was like countless hands that pulled at the soul. No, no. The soul kept roaring, but it was finally killed by the nether lightning. Boom! Boom! 3 consecutive deafening sounds rang out. The previously lively soul was scattered, leaving behind only a wisp of soul that entered the underworld. And this wisp of soul had already lost its consciousness. It could only follow the laws in a daze. Damn it, the gate of the underworld, this is the gate of the underworld. Seeing this scene, the souls in the queue started to struggle, but it was useless. Chapter 5007. The long group of souls continued to move forward. Throughout the process, souls of the dead joined in from time to time, and they were all unconscious. After a long time, a huge light spot appeared in front of them. They had arrived at the destination. After entering, it was the netherworld. The reason for the bronze gate and the universe of souls was to continuously weaken the power of the souls of the dead, so that the netherworld could control them. After entering the netherworld, they would have to wait in line to be reincarnated. Some souls of the dead with strong creation could be reincarnated as soon as they entered the netherworld. As for some souls with weaker creations, they would spend their entire lives in the netherworld, unable to reincarnate. While these souls of the dead were waiting for reincarnation, they were also working for the netherworld, searching for the netherworld ores. When one of the souls of the dead disappeared into the light spot, a voice sounded. Lin Ling. In the previous life, it was Li Xiaoyao. In this life, it is Lin Ling. The voice continued to sound, revealing the origin of the soul of the dead. Enter the 9-star netherworld mine. Then, the old voice arranged the way out for the soul of the dead. Obviously, this soul of the dead was not qualified to be reincarnated and had to go through 81 tribulations. These tribulations were all great tribulations to torture the soul of the dead. Only after the tribulations were completed could the soul of the dead be reincarnated. Generally speaking, only unpardonably evil gods or gods with extremely bad luck would have 81 tribulations. Hee, you dare to offend the netherworld. Now you are in our hands. Humph, this is just the beginning. The endless light was like a flame, constantly burning the soul of the dead, making it as small as a hair. Then, the soul of the dead followed the law and entered the netherworld. A gate appeared, and Lin Ling's soul of the dead swam in and was brought into a huge mine. This mine was like a starry sky, with a meteorite vortex. From time to time, souls of the dead would fly out with great difficulty with huge rocks. Rumble. However, the meteorite vortex would occasionally spin, and the souls of the dead that swam out would be swept away. They were instantly seriously injured, and their souls became even dimmer. Some souls of the dead that reacted slower were directly obliterated. However, most of these souls of the dead had the shape of a human, and the newly arrived soul of the dead that was the size of a hair gradually turned into a human after landing on the ground. It was a white-haired man, but his figure was incomparably dim, as if he would disappear at any time. It's already very impressive that this departed soul hasn't dissipated even after going through a great calamity. It's probably a soul that committed a great crime. What a pity. After entering the 9-star nether mining area, it's very difficult to persevere. Look, he has the mark of the netherworld on his forehead. He's probably a serious criminal amongst serious criminals, and he'll probably be unable to avoid suffering. The departed souls all around were whispering to each other. Pa! But at this moment, a bolt of lightning struck and landed on these dead souls, causing their souls to dim even more. Hurry up and get to work. A 2-meter-tall yiksha with sharp fangs and a nether thunder whip in his hand said coldly. Then, it pounced on one of the souls and started to chomp on it, devouring the soul in large mouthfuls. No. Your Excellency, please spare my life. The soul that was being bitten became even dimmer as it begged for mercy. This was because he knew very well that once a soul completely dimmed, it would be destroyed, and there would be no more of him in this universe. Moreover, the process of being bitten was incomparably painful. No suffering in this world could compare to having one's soul torn apart. Hurry up and work, or I'll whip you to death. In the end, the yiksha let the soul go. With a swing of his whip, he made the soul work day and night. These souls had to enter the dangerous meteorite vortex to dig for nether ores. They could only rest for 2 hours a day until the creation was born. Only then would they have the right to leave. However, it was too difficult for the creation to be born. Most of the departed souls had spent their entire lives mining here. Where is this? Who am I? At this moment, the white-haired man stood on the spot in a daze, as if he had lost all his memories. Pa! At this moment, the nether thunder whip swept over and landed on the white-haired man's body. His already weak soul was about to collapse at any moment. However, even though his soul was in intense pain, the white-haired man only frowned and then looked coldly at the yiksha. This person must have been a tough nut to crack when he was alive. This is the first time I've seen someone who could grit his teeth and withstand the nether thunder whip. A large number of souls entered and exited the area. When they saw this scene, they were all shocked. How dare you stare at me? See if I don't eat you. The ferocious yiksha was furious and wanted to tear the soul apart. However, at this moment, a 3-headed yiksha appeared and suddenly grabbed the nether thunder whip. He said calmly, "This soul cannot die. You have to torture him until he recovers." "Yes, my lord." "All right, let him go and mine." The 3-headed yiksha looked at the white-haired man and then said coldly. The surrounding souls immediately trembled. They knew that this was a netherguard. He had a higher status and was stronger. He was the nemesis of the departed souls. The white-haired man did not say a word. He followed the other souls into the meteorite vortex. Lin Ling, right? The higher-ups have instructed us to torture you well. Now that you've fallen into our hands, you'll suffer for 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years. The 3-headed yiksha looked at the white-haired man leaving. Its 3 heads sneered and were extremely ferocious. It did not know what kind of trouble Lin Ling had caused, but since he was in the mining area, it would not show mercy. At this moment, the white-haired man followed the crowd into the meteorite vortex. Rumble. The terrifying meteorite vortex rumbled and spun at a speed of 10 billion meters per second. After entering, the souls would be attacked by a strong wind. In the vortex, a large number of ores moved with the vortex at an extremely fast speed. The souls had to quickly obtain the ores in the vortex and then leave this place. If they left empty-handed, they would have to suffer the punishment of 10 lashes from the yiksha. Kid, you're new here. Don't get too close to the periphery of the vortex. Go to the center. It's better to mine there. Sai, your soul is too scattered. If you're not careful, you might die here. The white-haired man walked forward and an old man beside him reminded him. The white-haired man looked at him indifferently and did not say a word. Instead, he flew to the center. Even so, it was still difficult for him to get close because his soul was too scattered. Get lost. Moreover, the ores in the center were easier to collect, so the vicious souls occupied it. When they saw the white-haired man approaching, they roared and a powerful storm blew the white-haired man away. The white-haired man's soul was too weak. How could he be a match for them? Moreover, he was blown to the periphery of the vortex. The area of rotation there was large, so the tearing force was even more terrifying. Slap! At the critical moment, the old man from before grabbed the white-haired man and stopped him from flying backward. Kid, those are great souls. Let them collect them first. The old man reminded him again. The white-haired man looked ahead coldly and did not say a word. He was as cold as ice, but he did not move forward again. Chapter 5008. Let's begin. Here, without the supervision of the underworld, it's the most suitable. Another voice sounded, causing the white-haired man's eyes to flash. The next moment, he felt that his soul was being torn apart, and a powerful force was forcefully stuffed into his soul. Heart-ripping lung. The pain was even more intense than the underworld's lightning whip. The white-haired man could not control himself, and his body flew backward, shooting towards the outermost area of the whirlpool. Baby! The elder's expression changed instantly. Why bother with him? He's just an idiot. I helped him out of kindness, but he didn't even say a word of thanks. He should be a mute. However, just as the elder was about to make a move, the souls beside him stopped him, causing the elder to sigh repeatedly. He could only watch as the white-haired man was torn apart by the whirlpool. Ah, so painful. Who am I? You, senior sister, you, Lei Gong, everyone. The white-haired man kept roaring, and his soul seemed to be dissipating. He was getting closer and closer to the whirlpool behind him. Myriad silver light. Suddenly, the white-haired man shouted coldly, and a powerful force burst out from his body, forcefully stopping the speed of his flying backward, floating at the edge of the whirlpool. His eyes kept flashing, and memories surged into his soul like an ocean, strengthening his soul. He came from the ancient Face sect, from the rainforest sacred ground. He was Lin Ling, the master of the universe. He was also the host of the world's will. And in his most previous life, he was one of the creators. Rumble. The white-haired man's soul kept shaking, and gradually, his eyes regained their calmness. However, in the depths of his eyes, there was an incomparable coldness spreading. His gaze swept across the entire whirlpool, and all the souls looked at him, and their souls were all trembling. So cold. This sentence floated in the hearts of all the souls. Underworld, I'm actually in the underworld. The white-haired man muttered to himself, I'm Lin Ling. Lin Ling, you're awake. At the same time, a voice rang in his heart, and Lin Ling was shocked. Guangchengzi. That's right. The square prison is still in your soul. Moreover, although your soul seems dim, it still hides two powerful forces. One is the host of the world will, and the other is something that even we can't detect clearly. The Four Directions prison is hidden in there, avoiding the detection of the netherworld. Guangchengzi's voice sounded, I'm sorry for not being able to help you that day. Hearing this, Lin Ling's heart warmed. After going through so much, his heart was cold. But now that he had met a friend again, his heart was filled with warmth. I want revenge. Yin Wan Guang killed my family and friends. I want to destroy his holy ocean city and plunge everyone into misery and suffering. Lin Ling suddenly said coldly. I know that with your character, you will definitely want to take revenge. But now, you need to grow up and find the secrets of the netherworld. If you can return from the netherworld, you will definitely be able to take revenge for the annihilation of your clan. Guangchengzi's voice floated over, both the Taoist and I are helping you with this matter. Taoist. Lin Ling's eyes flashed. He guessed that it was the green-robed Taoist from the square prison. Thank you. Lin Ling couldn't help but whisper. He closed his eyes and recalled the scene on the third floor of the Tao Pagoda. Finally, he took a deep breath and slowly opened his eyes. All the blood feuds were deeply engraved in his heart. Rice had to be eaten one bite at a time. What he needed to do now was to take the nether ores and leave this place and strive to make his soul stronger. Only when his soul became stronger could he use his former means. Especially the power of faith and the 3 ultimate universe break, these were his only means in the netherworld. And if he wanted to use the 3 ultimate universe break, a strong soul force was indispensable. As for the power of faith, he didn't need it. But now, because his soul was too weak, it was difficult to activate. Thinking of this, Lin Ling strode toward the center of the vortex. At this moment, there were a large number of powerful souls collecting the nether ores. You didn't die. The soul that had driven away Lin Ling was surprised to see Lin Ling's arrival. Get lost, or I'll kill you. Then, he shouted in a low voice. Baby, be careful. In the distance, the old man was also surprised and then shouted in worry. However, after Lin Ling's memory returned, his soul was more condensed than before. He could activate the most basic cosmic ray. He didn't use the demon vanquishing break and only maintained the state of activation. This caused the soul in front of him to tremble. Lin Ling's big hand reached out and grabbed the soul's neck. Ah, you! The soul was incomparably shocked. He knew that this white-haired man was a newcomer and his soul was not condensed at all. He had even attacked before, but the other party couldn't block the power of his soul. However, in a short period of time, the white-haired man's soul had actually exploded. Spare me, spare me. The soul begged for mercy and trembled. Die. Lin Ling coldly shouted and pressed forward with his soul. Boom. The soul in his hand exploded and dissipated like a dense fog. The surrounding souls were all shocked. Was he dead? Was his soul forever gone? Lin Ling didn't care about these souls. Looking at the dissipating fog, he silently chanted the Chaos Divine formula. Gradually, a wisp of fog was absorbed by Lin Ling and merged with Lin Ling's soul. I can still use the Chaos Divine formula in the netherworld. Is it because I'm in soul form? However, my soul has become slightly stronger. Lin Ling thought to himself. In the netherworld, it was very difficult to strengthen one's soul. It relied on endless time. However, with the Chaos Divine formula, Lin Ling suddenly found a shortcut. Die. He looked at the other souls in front of him and attacked crazily. Sir. Those souls were all shocked. Unfortunately, Lin Ling's face was cold and he ignored them. In order to become stronger, he didn't hesitate to do anything. Moreover, he never thought of himself as a good person. In this universe where the strong preyed on the weak, he could attack anyone for his family and friends. Die. Lin Ling continued to kill the souls in front of him and used the Chaos Divine formula to devour their souls. You're crazy. You dare to kill your own people. Where did this guy come from? Why is his soul so powerful when he just arrived? Moreover, why is he killing us? Could it be that we can help him become stronger? All the souls were greatly alarmed. However, Lin Ling didn't care at all. The powerful souls in front of him were all killed by him and he continued to strengthen his own soul. Baby. Lin Ling only stopped when the old man behind him cried out in fear. He gave face to the old man. He strode forward and went to collect the ore. Wherever he passed, all the souls made way for him. They were completely afraid of this white-haired man. In the eyes of the souls, the white-haired man was as terrifying as Wuxia. Soon, Lin Ling got the ore. It was a 5-meter-long ore. He dragged it out but it was still very strenuous. He suddenly thought of Wuxia who had whipped him and a cold smile appeared on his face. That Wuxia was definitely going to die. Chapter 5009. Time quietly passed. Batches of souls entered and left, but Lin Ling was still cultivating. Unknowingly, a month had passed. Lin Ling finally stood up. He dragged the ore and walked out of the meteorite vortex. His palm hung down. In his palm, the power of the worlds will flickered. Lin Ling, seize the Yiksha's body and you will have a chance to leave this place. At the same time, Guangchengzi's voice floated over. Seize the Yiksha's body? Lin Ling's eyes lit up. The sneer on his lips deepened. After a long time, departed souls swam out of the huge meteorite vortex. Some departed souls dragged huge nether stones, while others passed by empty-handed. Without a doubt, the departed souls that returned empty-handed were ruthlessly punished with 10 lashes, causing them to howl in pain. It was as though their souls were about to scatter. Lin Ling, come out and eat my 10 lashes. At this moment, one of the Yikshas stared at the huge vortex and shouted, as though it had been waiting for a long time, are you finally willing to come out? From the meteorite vortex, Lin Ling slowly flew out while dragging the ore. He stared at the Yiksha, his eyes flashing coldly. When he had just arrived, it was this Yiksha who had whipped him. He would remember this grudge. Lin Ling, why aren't you getting over here? Beside the Yiksha, there were souls flattering it, speaking up for it. No matter where it was, even if it was dead, there were still people who flattered it. They only wanted to live a better life. Of course, stepping on the pain of others to live a better life also infuriated many souls, but they did not dare to speak. Lin Ling immediately stared at those souls. With just a glance, those souls trembled. What a cold gaze. They had heard that this white-haired man was new and his soul was unstable. Why did they feel fear with just a glance? One had to know that they were constantly flattering the Yiksha and were rarely whipped by it. Their souls were much more condensed than ordinary departed souls. They immediately did not dare to speak and obediently hid behind the Yiksha. Get over here and eat my 10 lashes. The Yiksha was furious. I've already brought it out of the mine. What right do you have to hit me? Lin Ling replied indifferently. Ugh. The Yiksha was stunned. He thought that Lin Ling was a newcomer and would definitely not be able to bring him out of the nether mine, so he took the opportunity to teach Lin Ling a lesson. But who knew that Lin Ling would complete the mission? Furthermore, he could rest for 3 incense sticks of time. So what if I took you out of the mine? If I want to hit you, I need your permission. Then, Yiksha became even angrier. The surrounding souls were shocked. How dare he refute Yiksha in the nether mines? Wasn't he courting death? Although the rule was that they didn't need to be whipped when they were brought out of the nether mine, the Yikshas didn't need to care about these rules. They could beat them if they wanted to. Come on. Lin Ling was not afraid at all as he looked at the Yiksha indifferently. The Yiksha had already raised his whip high and wanted to whip Lin Ling's arrogant soul to death. But he held back the next moment. Lin Ling had just arrived and his soul was not condensed yet. If he was beaten to death, it would be troublesome. He could not help but look into the distance. When he saw the 3-headed, 6-armed Yiksha king looking at him, he did not dare to attack. Who told you to be arrogant? You're dead. The Yiksha glared angrily at Lin Ling and then ignored Lin Ling. Lin Ling dragged the nether stone and continued forward. The surrounding souls were whispering. This white-haired man was too bold. If he offended the Yiksha, he would suffer in the future. Baby. At first, the old man wanted to persuade him, but immediately, a soul beside him pulled him back and told him not to have anything to do with Lin Ling, lest he be implicated. The old man sighed softly and finally fell silent. Lin Ling also noticed this, but he did not care. After all, he would not stay in the nether mines for long. All the souls he knew were just passing clouds. Following the large group to hand in the oars, Lin Ling found a quiet place to rest. He seemed to be moving forward slowly, but in fact, he was secretly investigating. He discovered that the nether mine was an island-like continent that floated in midair. Above it was a huge meteorite vortex. Below the continent was a layer of grey clouds, but he didn't know. He did not know how far it was from the nether world. It's him. Let's go. As Lin Ling moved forward, all the souls he encountered avoided him, afraid that they would be implicated by Lin Ling. I reckon that white-haired man will definitely suffer. They whispered as they left. They thought that Lin Ling did not hear them, but Lin Ling heard them all. He sneered and found a quiet mountain and sat cross-legged at the foot of the mountain. Around him, there were no souls. They seemed to know who Lin Ling had offended and did not dare to get too close to Lin Ling. This was even more convenient for Lin Ling. Indeed, not long after, a Yiksha came with a few souls. Pa pa. The Yiksha's pace was not fast. With every step, the lightning whip lashed out at the ground, causing dust to fly. This sound was undoubtedly very stressful. Any soul knew that the Yiksha was about to teach someone a lesson. So you were hiding here. Moments later, the Yiksha arrived in front of Lin Ling. It looked coldly at Lin Ling, who was sitting cross-legged. Do you think I can't find you if you hide here? How dare you resist me in my territory? It seems that I'll have to give you a few hundred lashes. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I brought the soul congregation tree. It can allow your soul to recover continuously. Then I'll beat you continuously and let you experience the pain of having your soul scattered. The Yiksha kept talking. Its fangs flashed as it laughed happily. Hee hee, Lin Ling, you're dead. Why don't you kneel and beg for mercy? If you lick Lord Yiksha's butt, he might be in a good mood and spare you a few lashes. The Yiksha's followers laughed gloatingly. Lick butt? It seems that you have licked a lot of butt. At this moment, Lin Ling finally opened his eyes. He glanced at the souls and gave them a fright. They only dared to be arrogant in front of Lin Ling because they followed the Yiksha. If they faced him alone, they would probably have to kneel and beg for mercy. Lin Ling, you're not afraid. When the Yiksha saw that Lin Ling's reaction was calm, he was undoubtedly very surprised. In the nether mining area, which soul was not afraid of him? And this Lin Ling knew that he was coming, but his reaction was so calm. Why should I be afraid? Lin Ling slowly stood up and said, Why do you think I'm looking for this quiet place? Are you hiding from me? The Yiksha frowned and said in a low voice. You're thinking too much. I'm thinking that if I kill you here, no one will find out. Lin Ling stepped forward, his eyes revealing killing intent. What? The Yiksha's pupils constricted. As for the few souls that were following him, their bodies trembled. Killed the Yiksha. After so many years in the nether mining area, they had never seen anyone who dared to kill a Yiksha. What's more, could it be done? Not to mention Lin Ling, this new soul, even if it was a soul that had been here for thousands of years, it would not be able to touch the Yiksha. Ha ha ha. The Yiksha laughed as if he had heard the funniest joke. It was undeniable that although the souls of the dead had lost their memories, they were born with pride and did not feel that they were slaves. Chapter 50-10. Demon Subduing Break. At this time, Lin Ling shouted. A terrifying soul force rushed towards the Yiksha, and the cosmic ray sealed it. Ha, ha ha. The Yiksha was still laughing, but its expression suddenly changed. Something was wrong, something was wrong. Why did this Lin Ling have such a powerful method? Your memories haven't been scattered. The Yiksha roared in horror. Any powerful soul that entered the underworld would have to go through 3 trials. The 3 trials were used to scatter the soul and memories, making the powerful soul force of the past disappear. However, the Yiksha discovered that Lin Ling had a soul force method. This meant that Lin Ling still had his memories. This was the first soul he had encountered in the underworld mining area that still had his memories. You're right, I still have my memories. Lin Ling sneered, and a powerful soul force blasted out. Now, his soul force couldn't be compared to the past, but it was still stronger than any soul in the underworld mining area. This was because when he recovered his memories, he also obtained a small part of his soul force. Moreover, he had devoured many souls. Ah, no! The Yiksha roared in horror. His soul was swept by the cosmic ray, and it was on the verge of collapse. What happened? However, his shout seemed to have attracted the attention of the distant Yiksha. Seeing this, Lin Ling was anxious. He urged all his soul force. If this didn't work, he would have to use the Sword of Faith. However, the Sword of Faith was not soul force. Once it was used, it would inevitably be discovered by the Yiksha in the underworld mining area. This was the reason why Lin Ling didn't use it in the beginning. Answer me. The voice came from the distance again. It seemed that the Yiksha were flying over. Lin Ling's pupils constricted. This was extremely urgent. Die! He roared, and then he heard the sound of glass shattering. The Yiksha's soul was crushed into pieces. At the same time, Lin Ling pounced on the Yiksha, and his soul entered his body. Just as his soul disappeared, two Yikshas appeared above the mountain peak in the blink of an eye. They were even taller and stronger, looking down at Lin Ling and the others. What happened? One of the Yikshas frowned. However, Lin Ling remained silent. He was still controlling the Yiksha's body. Something's not right. The two Yikshas let out a sound and flew down. They looked at the few souls behind Lin Ling, and the few souls were already scared silly. Their bodies were trembling. What did they see before? Seeing that the white-haired man had killed the Yiksha, he rushed into the Yiksha's body. Oh my God, what is this thing? They had been here for 1,000 years, and this was the first time they had seen such a terrifying thing. However, although they were trembling, the two Yikshas were used to it. It was a common occurrence for souls to tremble when they saw them. It's fine, I'm just teaching them a lesson. At this moment, Lin Ling finally spoke. He controlled the Yiksha's body and looked at the two Yikshas indifferently. Oh. So that's how it is. The two Yikshas didn't suspect anything. They nodded and were about to leave with their electric whips. However, after taking a few steps, they suddenly turned around and looked at the few souls. Which one of you was beaten up? Previously, Lin Ling didn't beat them at all. He was just looking for an excuse. Now that he heard the Yiksha's question, Lin Ling became nervous. He immediately looked at the few souls and said, "Stand out." His voice sounded cold, but he was still very nervous. If these souls betrayed him, with his current strength, it would be very difficult for him to escape from this place. Most importantly, he didn't want the underworld to know that he, Lin Ling, still had his memories. Otherwise, he would definitely be captured and imprisoned in some place, or even studied by the underworld. This. The few souls trembled. They looked at the two Yikshas and then looked at Lin Ling. However, when their eyes met Lin Ling's, a terrifying chill rushed into their hearts. It was very cold. It was a billowing killing intent. It was threatening them. If they dared to speak nonsense, they would die on the spot. It's me. Finally, one of the souls walked out and said, "I made the Lord unhappy, so he beat me." Oh. The two Yikshas looked at the soul from head to toe. In the end, they couldn't find anything and left in big strides. Phew. Seeing that they had left, Lin Ling finally heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he looked at the few souls coldly. Plop. The few souls immediately knelt down and kowtowed continuously. "My lord, please spare us, we didn't see anything." They shouted at the same time. Lin Ling wanted to kill them, but he felt that he was unfamiliar with this place and might be seen through. Therefore, he decided to keep them alive. "Remember what you said. You didn't see anything." Otherwise, I will make sure that you will never be able to speak again. Lin Ling said coldly. I know, I didn't see anything before this. Nothing happened before this. The few souls hurriedly replied. Let's go back. Lin Ling took a big step forward and led the way. He returned to the meteorite vortex and watched over everything. As for those few souls, they followed behind Lin Ling, not daring to even let out a fart. You, come here and tell me about this mine. Lin Ling stood there quietly for a moment. When he saw that there was nothing unusual, he asked calmly. The soul didn't dare to hide anything and told him everything he knew. This mine was one of the mines in the underworld. The ruler of this mine was the three-headed and six-armed Wuxia king. However, the Wuxias weren't familiar with each other. Usually, if the Wuxias wanted to rest, they could just find a cave by themselves. This made Lin Ling feel relieved. He was most afraid that the Wuxias would gather for a meeting or something like that. At that time, he would inevitably be exposed. Is there any way out of this mine? Lin Ling asked again. Although he had obtained the body of a Wuxia, he knew that he shouldn't stay in this place for long. After all, Lin Ling was an important criminal in the underworld. Every once in a while, someone would definitely come to investigate him. There's no way out, unless there's some good fortune. If you leave from this place, there's the dark clouds outside. If the Wuxias rush out of the dark clouds, they will die. So, this place is sealed. This, we don't know either. Hearing this, Lin Ling frowned. He didn't believe that there wasn't a way out. There must be, but these souls didn't know about it. In the following days, Lin Ling continued to supervise the souls while secretly searching the mine. However, the mine was empty. Other than the meteorite vortex, there were only dark clouds in the surroundings. Time was running out. The Wuxia king would come to find Lin Ling at any time. However, one day, Lin Ling saw a place that seemed to be the way out. It was the crater of a volcano. However, from time to time, the soul congregation tree would float up from the crater for the Wuxias to cultivate. If ordinary souls obtained it and refined it, their souls would be more condensed. What attracted Lin Ling's attention wasn't the soul congregation tree, but the crater of the volcano. Because it seemed to lead to another place. In the following days, Lin Ling continued to secretly investigate the crater of the volcano. Finally, he prepared to escape from the crater of the volcano. However, on this day, the news of his disappearance spread. The entire mine was in an uproar. A large number of Wuxias were searching for him among the souls. Fortunately, no one knew that he had obtained the body of a Wuxia. Chapter 50:11. As soon as he entered the volcano, Lin Ling felt a wave of warmth. It was very comfortable and made his soul more condensed. He looked around and found that the volcano was not dark. The walls were full of colorful rocks, sparkling and translucent. It was very magical. Moreover, there were small grasses growing on the walls. They swayed gently and gave off a very pleasant smell. It's the soul congregation trees. Lin Ling's eyes lit up. He had killed a Wuxia not long ago, and he had many soul-amassing trees. This mysterious tree seemed to be a special product of the underworld. It could condense one's soul, and if one carried it, one's soul would not dissipate. Of course, Lin Ling urgently needed powerful treasures to restore his soul. Therefore, he had refined those soul congregation trees. Now, his soul had recovered 20% of its original strength. Now that he saw these soul congregation trees, he naturally wanted to collect them. He's running away. He's down there. But at this moment, he vaguely heard a voice coming from the top of the volcano. The Wuxias had found him. The Wuxia king was probably there. The Wuxia king was very powerful. With Lin Ling's current strength, he was no match for him. Run! Lin Ling did not have time to collect the soul congregation trees. He quickly rushed down. Rumble. He sped up and a strong wind blew. If not for the soul congregation trees and the Yiksha body that Lin Ling had taken, Lin Ling's soul would have been blown away. My strength is not as strong as before. My soul is much weaker. Even so, Lin Ling could sense that his soul was unstable and he felt a chill run down his spine. Lin Ling, speed up. They're catching up. Guang Chengzi's voice came. Do you need our help? But I'm afraid the god of the underworld will notice us if you release us. After all, he controls the underworld. If there's a powerful external force, he will definitely notice it. Although Lin Ling had never seen the god of the underworld, he had opposed the god of the underworld many times when he was alive. He was a wanted criminal. Not now. Lin Ling also knew this. Although he was being hunted, the pursuer was only the Yiksha king. If the god of the underworld chased after him, he could only wait to be captured. Strange, how did they discover me so quickly? Lin Ling was puzzled at the same time. Normally, even if a soul betrayed him, it would still take some time to find him. How could Yiksha king know that he was in the volcanic cave? It is indeed a little strange. Guang Chengzi also felt that the timing did not match. It's the end. At this time, Lin Ling said in a low voice. The Yiksha moved its body and stood firmly on the ground. It looked around and then gasped. That was because the bottom of the volcano was filled with soul-amassing trees, and they were even older than the ones on the volcano walls. What a pity. If I wasn't being hunted down, I would have collected them all. Lin Ling sighed inwardly. Ignoring the soul congregation trees around him, he randomly chose a direction and sprinted forward. The bottom of the volcano was huge, and with a large number of soul congregation trees, they could probably shake off their pursuers. Because the soul congregation trees had the ability to gather souls, Lin Ling's soul could hide in them and prevent the Yiksha king from spying on him. Just when Lin Ling thought that he was safe, Guang Chengzi suddenly warned him, Lin Ling, something is wrong. They have caught up with us. They are right behind us. Damn it, they must know where I am. They have checked something on me. Lin Ling's expression changed drastically. It's your forehead. Guang Chengzi suddenly said. A strange mark appeared on the forehead of Lin Ling's soul. It seems that every soul has this mark. Lin Ling thought of the souls in the underworld mining area. They all had this mark. I guess this is a way of controlling souls in the underworld. Every soul that enters the underworld has this mark. Most of them rely on this mark to reincarnate. Guang Chengzi guessed. This thing is too troublesome. If I can't shake it off, the pursuers will keep following me. Lin Ling, shake them off for now. If you can't shake them off, use the sword of faith to fight. Hearing Guang Chengzi's suggestion, Lin Ling nodded and ran again. He walked like this for 10 hours. If it weren't for the soul congregation trees, Lin Ling's soul would have been exhausted. Now that he was in the state of a soul, even with the protection of the Yiksha body, he was still much weaker than his original body. The wind would be cold, the sun would be hot, and the long-distance running would tire his soul out. This is. After walking for a long time, Lin Ling suddenly stopped. He saw a huge tower-like tree in front of him. This tree was colorful and dense with branches. A large number of corpses were hanging from it. It was extremely strange. Oh my God, this is the king of the soul congregation trees. Guang Chengzi exclaimed in shock. Can I harvest it? Lin Ling licked his lips. With this tree, he estimated that he could recover 40% of his soul power. Yes, you can dig out the roots. Guang Chengzi instructed. Lin Ling rushed over and dug out the roots. To his surprise, although the tree looked huge, it was not difficult to dig out the roots. In just a quarter of an hour, the whole tree collapsed. After the tree collapsed, the dried corpses on the branches fell to the ground and gradually turned into dust. The giant tree shrank and turned into the size of an ordinary branch. Then, Lin Ling put it on his shoulder. "Lin Ling, run, they are approaching again." Guangchengzi's voice came just as he got the king of the Soul Congregation trees and had not had time to refine it. Moreover, after the tree fell, the surroundings underwent a heaven-shaking and earth-shattering change. Especially the place where the tree was planted, a huge crack appeared. Lin Ling moved closer and looked around. He could not help but gasp. In the depths of the crack, a large number of toads could be faintly seen. They were piled up like mountains, layer upon layer. Furthermore, the originally motionless toads began to open their eyes one by one. "Run, these things are not ordinary." Guangchengzi could not see what they were, but he sensed a terrifying aura gushing out from the crack. Lin Ling's pupils constricted. Without wasting any time, he chose a direction and rushed forward. Not long after Lin Ling disappeared, a large number of yikshaws appeared. They closed their eyes and seemed to be able to sense Lin Ling's aura. Then, they said, "My lord, he has been here." The three-headed, six-armed yiksha king's face was extremely cold. "Damn it, he has opened the seal. A large number of dark toads will rush out. This place is going to be plunged into misery and suffering. This hell is going to be unstable. Go after him." Then, the Yiksha king roared angrily. Lin Ling, on the other hand, was still running while carrying the tree. He was panicking and did not know where to go at all. Most importantly, he was being chased by the soldiers behind him, which made him very angry. It seemed that if he did not get rid of the mark on his body, his whereabouts would be tracked by the underworld at any time. Now, the Yiksha king did not dare to report Lin Ling to the higher-ups of the underworld for fear of being punished. Otherwise, Lin Ling would have been caught by the Yiksha king. After all, the underworld was not Lin Ling's territory. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.